thank you so much for joining us. It is the Drake Toll Show. I am not Drake Toll. Drake is out today. John Lund in. Addie is here. Laura is here. We're going to have to take care of Addie in just a second, but we'll discuss. Thank you for joining us. However you are listening or watching, you can come over and watch on the Drake Toll Show on YouTube. Hundreds and hundreds of radio stations across North America. We do not want to forget our Canadian friends as well. Sirius XM 375. WestwoodOneSports.com, the Westwood One Sports app, which you can download because then you can listen to all the shows whenever you would like, which is nice. So make sure that you are listening to all the shows right here on Westwood One Sports by downloading that app. All right, good morning. A lot of NBA news to get to, a big trade, plus a ton of rumors as we are approaching free agency. Trades are already happening, and we shall discuss. But we have some internal things to discuss. Laura is here this morning. Addie is here this morning. I'm mildly concerned about your well-being. Can you give us an update? Are you okay? Will you be able to speak today on the show? I have a Trump story, but I'm not sure you're going to be up to doing the world-famous Trump, so I'll hold off on that. But can we get an update of your health, please?
Yes. Yesterday I took a nap, and I woke up from that nap, and what was it? My throat hurt. I'm like, oh, this is a good start.
Oh.
One of those, I was like, that was supposed to be refreshing. So then the rest of the evening, I go to bed early. I sent an email. I was like, John, I'm going to bed. I'm sorry. I'm dying. And now you can hear me now. It's one of those when you wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, wow, I'm sweating a lot. So what do? I book a minute clinic appointment at 9:30 this morning. So as soon as I'm done here, I get that podcast up for those who aren't up and grinding like we are. And then I'm going straight to the doctor. Not that any of y'all care. But if I don't, I'm sorry that I sound like this. Anytime I get sick, it always attacks my voice, and it's so funny. Because I'm like, that's the one thing I need. That's actually the one thing I need for my job.
Yeah,
I don't
everything
need
else would be fine.
Yeah. But you know what?
By the way, the first text that Laura and I get from you this morning is, guys, I think I'm dying. And so I thought,
I'm not joking.
might be Laura
Dead today, Addie.
I'm not joking. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, great to know our producer will not be alive by show star.
So I was genuinely concerned. When I get sick, it's actually great because I kind of sound like Alvin the Chipmunk normally, but when I get sick, it has this like sexy Barry White thing going on, and I wish I could keep that, but not the sickness, but I can't. So
I sound like a boy.
Hey, some people like that though.
No.
Yeah.
Some
This
people
is
like
not part
that.
of the Mexican rebrand that I'm going
Oh.
to. This is not part of the rebrand, guys.
Yeah, that was funny.
Wow.
I got a tweet
Very
yesterday
nice,
that
very
said,
nice.
you're rebranding as Mexican. I was like, I guess since 2001. Thank you for just noticing.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice.
Yes, we're here.
All right, well, if at
at
any point you need a break, whatever the case may be, if you need me, I can, and if you need, because I've got this whole packet, I am deathly afraid of getting sick, especially like you said, when you make your living with your voice. And so I keep these things that will help you not at all, but I'm offering like, I could do like a DoorDash or something to your place, to your new place. And because you got to have cough drops, you got to have vitamin C drops. They have the sugar-free kind that I use, but you got to have the throat spray. Like I've done shows in my career where I'll turn off the mic, spray a bunch of that stuff it only numbs your throat for about 8 seconds, but it's just it's constant. I've used like a half a bottle of that stuff in a show before, where it's like then I turn the mic back on and like.
What's funny is because I just moved, I don't know where any of my medicine is. I have no clue where it is. So we're raw dogging this right now, okay, guys? This is water.
So you got nothing.
Yesterday I needed something for my throat, and the only thing I had was lemonade because it makes it like it makes your salad.
But that burns. Like orange juice and lemonade are the worst, right?
I needed that. I really needed that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking like if I just attack it, if I kill it, I just.
Okay.
I don't think that's how that works, Addie.
No.
That's how
Sorry,
that
guys.
works.
I'm not a doctor. I'm just a comic.
I'm not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor. I am going to send something to your house. We got a care package or something. I'm definitely like throat drops. Because especially if you just moved, you got to have throat drops. You got to have the spray. Even though it's terrible, it either comes in. There's two flavors. It's like, who did this? Menthol or cherry. Like that's the only. And they're who calls this cherry? It's like it's basically menthol with some red dye in it. It's terrible.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, it's awful. Maybe some Vicks Vapor Rub. Your mom. You don't sound stuffed up or anything.
No, because
No?
it's just my throat. It's just my throat.
Oh, okay. Of course it is, because that's how you make your living. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So,
Nope.
compassion, please, for Addie.
It's not how I make my living. That is not how I make my living.
Good night, everybody, because I don't know if we're going to top that. I don't know if we're going to top what just happened. If you're not in on the joke, I'm sorry. It's too late to go back, but what are we at? About 5 minutes past the hour? Yeah, we're probably not going to top that today, but well done. All right, so compassion for Addie, if you'd like to come over to the chat and not be creepy for once and just come over to the Drake Toll Show and just be nice and say, I hope you feel better, that would be nice. No creepy comments, please. Thank you very much. Addie's dealing with a throat issue, and she talks for a living. All right, we got a ton to get to today. Let's discuss a few things in terms of let's lead NBA. A few things going on that are crazy in the NBA right now. Number one, and I doubt this is going to happen, but man, I hope it does, because it's just the NBA season, content. They're going to have to probably, if this happens, park somebody out with the Warriors like back in the day when they had somebody just for Barry Bonds. But the Warriors, according to Yahoo today, are trying to trade Jimmy. I don't know how this is going to work. It makes no sense to me, but I'll just report it and we can discuss. Jimmy Butler, who still has that knee injury and he's not going to be ready for the beginning of the season, but it's that contracts that matter in the NBA because you got to make them match up. But they're talking Jimmy Butler plus a bunch of other stuff, and they would get Anthony Davis from Washington with the Warriors, and then they'd sign LeBron James to a contract, and so you'd have this ultimate old man team of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and again, I don't know how they're going to make contracts match up with just Jimmy Butler. Get Anthony Davis from Washington, and then sign LeBron James. I think that's fantasy land. If I'm Washington right now and I just got A.J. Devonta, I'm trying to finally win games. They're not tanking. I don't know what the logic would be. And I've kind of got this philosophy that fans love coming up with this stuff. Now, this is Yahoo. I don't know if this is fandom. I don't know where this came from. It's not that I don't believe it, because Yahoo's a little bit more credible than a lot of places you hear rumors these days. But what I tell fans all the time when they call shows that I'm on and they say, well, could we – sorry, I don't mean to offend fans, but this is how fans sound in my head. Hey, could we trade this player for this and this and this? And they throw a bunch of junk out there because they think it's the amount of players for a good player. And then could we get, LeBron James for it? And I'm like, okay, rather than looking at what your team adds, go to the other side and ask yourself, will my general manager get fired if we do this deal? And in the case of Anthony Davis for Jimmy Butler and a bunch of other junk, first-round picks and all this kind of stuff so the Warriors can mortgage their future more for when Steph Curry's gone, you'd have to ask yourself, why would Washington do it? I understand why Golden State would do it. Why would Washington do it? I don't think they would, because I think it's time for them to win. So, number one, and we're going to get to Miles Bridges. There's some rumors with Kawhi Leonard, but let's just start with that one. That would be really cool to have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, etc. on Golden State's team, and the media would go crazy, and the Warriors would be, I don't know if they'd win anything, but they would certainly be interesting, and everybody would talk about it. But I'm scratching my head going, what would Washington get out of it? Eddie, you're in D.C. I mean, it's kind of finally time for the Wizards to win, is it not, with the Bonsa and Davis and Trae Young and all? It doesn't seem to make any sense.
And apparently nothing says winning like getting a 36-year-old with a bad ACL. That's what I call a winning roster if we're going to get Jimmy Butler out here. That's what I don't understand. Like, why are we going to trade away? I get it, he's injured. Nobody wants that on their team right now. And he's old. He's aging, like 36 and 33. Anthony Davis being 33. 3 years makes a difference in that case. It really does. And Anthony Davis has already had his own whole bunch of issues on his end. But, yeah, no, they're winning. They want to win out here. That's why they got Devonta. That's why they didn't trade down or anything like that. Like, people were like, they need to and all this kind of stuff. No, they had the first overall pick, and they utilized that. They got the best player in the draft, arguably, by a lot of people. They have Trae Young. They extended him, even though he tried to shop himself out. They have Anthony Davis. This is what they want to do now. They're trying. This is, okay, we're rebuilding. Next year, I think they'll look like a solid team if they can continue this kind of rebuild. This year, I don't know if they're going to look like, oh, my gosh, they're going to look like the Spurs or the Knicks or the Thunder. But no, that would be an egregious trade. Let's go get an injured old guy. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's do that.
Well, in the Eastern Conference, I mean, this is what I expect out of the top two teams that drafted. I expect Washington to at least be a play-in team in the Eastern Conference. I don't think there's any excuse to that. And with Utah getting Darren Peterson, I think Utah, and I think they're in very similar places. I think that they, obviously last year, and whatever the case, whatever you want to call it, they both tanked. It paid off for both of those teams. They both got a superstar, I think, young player. And I'm not saying, again, I said that this draft is as good as I've seen maybe since the LeBron James draft of 2003 when you're talking Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and all that, and obviously LeBron at the top. I don't think DeBonce is LeBron, but I think that those first few picks or maybe even 4 picks are really, really good, and I think there's 8 or 10 All-Stars in this draft. But Washington and Utah are the same. The tanking is over. It's time to at least be a play-in team for both of those teams. The top of the West, it's very top-heavy. The bottom's not great. There's no reason Utah really shouldn't even be a playoff team and at least a play-in team. I think Washington in the East, the same kind of a thing. There's some good teams at the top. Boston, I think, is going to be really good. I think Miami with Giannis is going to be better. The Knicks are obviously there. There's a handful of teams that are good, but it's not a deep conference, so I think Washington should be in it. So just a worry. You do you, but when you think about trades, and we love to do this as fans, just think about the other side. And most times when fans come up with these, I love this word, cockamamie trades, the other GM's getting fired. Why'd you look at me like that? I just saw that. Was that just throat hurting, or what was that? You don't like the word cockamamie? It's a great word. It's an amazing word.
Why'd you say it like that? Why'd you say it like that, John?
No, I just, in the back of my head, I'm constantly thinking, how can I fit cockamamie into any kind of discussion?
I'm sorry, I didn't think I would hear cockamamie at 6:11 in the morning. Okay, guys? Sue me on a Monday morning.
Well, I just, that's just, I don't know. It's just the weirdness of me, which is I've got a bunch of words in the back of my head, and I thought to myself, okay, how am I going to do this? In fact, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent this early. You and I both have a friend. His name's Kevin Franzen. He's a former Major League Baseball player. And we play this game. I have a few friends like this, friends who are broadcasters in various sports. And I don't know, I'll just get a wild hair sometimes, and I'll text him, and I go, okay, I'm watching your game. I'll watch on like MLB Network or, the MLB package or whatever. And I'll say, can you fit this word into your broadcast? I'll give you 3 innings to fit this word into your broadcast. Probably shouldn't say this because his employer's like, I'm firing that guy. How immature and sophomore can you be? But I'll text friends of mine. I shouldn't have used his name, but I will text friends of mine variously throughout broadcasts if I'm watching them, and I'll say, hey, can you fit this word in the next 3 innings? And it's not like I give them anything. I don't have anything. It's not like I'm going to, Venmo them some money. I'll be like, hey, it'll be really funny. Throw this word into your broadcast. And inevitably, they'll do it. And the person that I mentioned does it within like 30 seconds. Like, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great game. So, it's a
hey, come on.
it's really
no one needs to do.
It's really terrible.
When I was in college, my favorite one was there's a song by Adam Sandler called At a Medium Pace, and I'm not going to describe what it's about.
Yeah. It's an amazing song.
But we would
the shampoo bottle alone is a great
But
it's amazing. The pizza guy, the shampoo bottle.
And we would see if we could fit that one, like, just at a medium pace anywhere in there. That's what we would do in college. And look where I am now. So it's okay, kids. It's okay.
Amazing job by you. You know what? That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to, because a lot of people know that. We cannot play that song.
No,
I don't even know if we can play the beginning of it. I'll have to listen to it at the break. Think to myself, could we even play the beginning of it? I don't think we can. I don't think we can play any part of it. Not a medium pit. No, I don't think so. No, I know the song. It's amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing song. When they used to, I'm sorry that we're going on a tangent at 14 minutes past the hour. We'll do more NBA at 20 minutes past the hour because there's some Kawhi Leonard news. There's a huge trade yesterday that I'm scratching my head over. There's a bunch of NBA stuff as we get ramped up for actual free agency and the such. We'll get to it in just a second, but when we go on tangents around here, it takes precedence. Now I forgot what I was going to say because I was explaining why I was going to talk about. Yeah, I was going to go on a tangent. No, I can't go on a tangent. I don't remember what I was going to say now because it's early and everything like that. But anyway, there you go. I'll you know what? I'll remember. And I'm going to listen to that song during the break because, now people are like, well, come on, man. I would just say this. If you're you're driving to work. There's a lot of people driving to work. Everybody's got, things in their car. You can look it up on your own. So just look up Adam Sandler at a medium pace, and we can't play it, probably any of it, but you can, and it's very funny. It's a hilarious song. Oh, I remember when. Remember when there used to be comedy albums? Like, it was unbelievable.
Yes.
Like that Adam Sandler comedy album is, yes. I don't know, got to be 20 years old, doesn't it? Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And there used to be like Richard Pryor and all these comedians. They would release. Now it's just Netflix does it, so that's replaced it. But I would sit in my room. This just ages me, but I would sit in my room and listen to those things and laugh out loud. My mom would come in. What are you doing in there? What is happening? I'm just listening to comedy. Like, people will never understand that, you go to Netflix, you watch them and everything, and it's better this way. Don't get me wrong. But you can sit in your room and listen to things that there's no way. Cheech and Chong used to have your mom would just, she wouldn't even believe it to know what you were listening to, like something like that, Anyway.
Those were the days.
All right. Yeah, that was good. I can't believe you brought up that album. You didn't think you thought it was crazy for bringing up Cockamamie. I can't believe that you brought up that song.
Well, they kind of go hand
Yeah, they kind of do go hand in hand. Very nice. All right, let's get back on track. We will do that. We often go off track, but we will get back on track. A lot of NBA trades to discuss. So again, the one that hasn't happened, I doubt is going to happen, but is the most interesting. There's a story out on Yahoo today that LeBron James could sign at Golden State, and the Warriors are trying to somehow use Jimmy Butler's contract to get Anthony Davis. How good would that team even be? By the way, real quick, of course, we just started the show 16 minutes ago, so we haven't had our caller of the day. I don't know if we let the last guy, it was James from Tacoma, just because I know James, he calls a lot on the weekend. So you could be the Drake Toll Show caller of the day on this Monday at 310-840-4910. Always love to hear from you. 310-840-4910 on the Westwood One Sports Talk and Text line. All right, we get to the rest of the NBA trades, including a huge one yesterday and what is being speculated, including a big star out of L.A. We'll explain next. Drake Toll Show, John Lund in for Drake on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I'm excited!
Yeah, baby!
Welcome back. It is the Drake Toll Show. John London for Drake Toll. So this is what we do during breaks. We're going to get into the NBA in just a second. We mentioned LeBron James, Anthony Davis for the Warriors. I doubt it's going to happen, but it's fun to think about. We'll give you a trade that happened yesterday that is pretty huge, and we're going to get into free agency and all these things. But this is what I spent the break doing. Can you hear this? Is this going? It's going over the air?
Oh, no.
See, you remember this? No, I got it. Hopefully I catch this in time. Laura's very nervous.
Beep.
Okay, it's starting out. Well. Okay, sounds very romantic. As you pet your cat. Okay, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, that's about it.
So
That's about all I
romantic.
can do.
So romantic.
Very romantic, right? So it was a very romantic song. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it if you missed the beginning of the show.
Play the next.
Yeah,
Play
the next one. The big boss would be calling us going, yeah, the three of you will never work again. We are done. Laura's like sweating bullets, looking at me like, when is he going to stop? When is he going to stop? Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, exactly. There would have been a dump involved. There would have been a phone call involved. Right in the middle.
Dead
We'd like to
today,
continue
all
to
our
talk about
careers, apparently.
Yes, I'm sorry. I probably put all of your careers in very much jeopardy, and I apologize for that. But anyway, that's as much as we could do. After that, as romantic as that song sounds, and the fact that you would love to play it for your significant other on Valentine's Day, all of a sudden it goes shh.
That's a good significant. They appreciate that.
If you're maybe you want to break up, then you can continue that song. But right now, so anyway, good morning. Again, looking for the caller of the day at 30840-4910.
Because we do take
other
calls.
things,
Right.
yeah, we take calls on the show. We take calls on the show.
We do.
At times, it's when we didn't, people got mad about it, but everybody's good. So here's the rest of the NBA and what's going on. Oh, by the way, there's another thing I did during the break. I was very busy. So I went to DoorDash. I put stuff in your cart. You want me to send you stuff? I'm being 100% serious. You want me to? Because you just moved into a place, and your throat's a little scratchy. And by the way, if you're going to go to the Drake Toll Show on YouTube and I don't know, I'm not going to say creep on Addie, but just first of all, say before you say, I like your voice, will you please just say, hey, you feeling better? Don't creep out like that. Like, hey, Addie, I like your voice. Keep it like this. Like, stop it. Like, say, are you feeling better? Jeez. And then continue. Then continue with your creepiness. My goodness. Yeah, I put stuff in your cart. I put like the throat. Right? Because DoorDash, usually you're getting about 30 minutes. So I'm like, like, probably have it by 7 o'clock your time. So I got it in there. It's not a lot. Well, geez, it's like,
Tylenol during the break.
That'll help your throat. Yeah. Help inflammation. So anyway, just double check it because we want you to make it through the show. Because when you basically the first text of the day was, and Laura and I both replied to it of I'm dying. I thought, man, I guess she's not going to the show.
Wow.
I'm dying. Generally
It's finally happening. I wait for it every day, but Mom says that's not funny, Addie. Like, it's not funny.
No, you don't understand. When the alarm goes off,
Now
it's
it's
like, take
happening.
me now, God. Take me now. Anyway, just let me know. I'm not going to creep on you. I just thought, send some stuff. You just moved into a place for those who aren't following along at home. You just moved into a place. Although I will say that, what have you been in that place? Like 2 weeks? You're not.
Yes.
You're not
I was
whatsoever?
in Nashville last weekend, so I've only been here for like a week and a half, basically, because I was living it up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or is
I
that
was
enough
living
time to be
Yeah,
organized
so
to
I
know where
think
your stuff is? 2 weeks, even though you're in Nashville, is that enough time to know? Gotta keep things organized.
Well, but consider her age. She really doesn't know what she's doing. And the World Cup. And the World
Shut
Cup.
up. God forbid a woman wants to go to bed at 6 a.m. because she's living it up.
I wouldn't mind. I love Nashville. It's one of the most. I don't know if it's an underrated city.
She's
anymore.
living her life, John, okay? Who cares about an apartment? Okay?
Exactly.
Let her roommate worry about it.
I got no issues with it. All right, NBA-wise, a couple other things we mentioned. Like I said, the Warriors, and they're trying to get LeBron and Anthony Davis together. We shall see. Other rumors, Kawhi Leonard, depending on who you believe. Again, I'll preface everything I say with this. The NBA, and I don't know why it's like this, you just believe Shams. When Shams sent something out, it's kind of like Shefty. Like all these other guys, blah, 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 blah. They're trying to make a name for themselves. And in the NBA, and I don't know why in this stratosphere that's what's going on, but there's a lot of accounts that just know nothing and are trying to get go viral, or I told you, they're not accurate. But the NBA seems to be overrun with these. So depending on what you believe, Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers have said that they're not going to give him an extension at this time, which is probably smart by them because he's always injured. His time in LA with the Clippers, which was highly, a lot of people thought that maybe the Clippers would finally get out of their own way with all the things that they did. Having James Harden didn't work, Paul George didn't work, all these different guys. But at the front of the whole thing has been Kawhi Leonard after he won a championship in Toronto, coming to LA and just not being able to be healthy. I think is the biggest thing with him. But there's a lot of people, and this is surprising to me, that said maybe he could go to Toronto, going to Dallas where his old GM is from Toronto. That has been debunked this morning, so we'll keep an eye on Kawhi. The Warriors were a team that were in on him, so who knows where Kawhi goes, or maybe he just stays in LA. But because they're not going to extend him, at least at this point, it's led to a lot of speculation that he may be leaving LA. The big trade yesterday, and this one I got to scratch my head on, the Suns trade for Mr. Miles. And I guess the weird part about this to me is Miles Bridges, is that Matt Ishbia, if you don't know this, he's the owner of the Phoenix Suns now. And he played basketball at Michigan State. So his general manager, Michigan State, his head coach, Michigan State, a couple of big assistants, including former Michigan State star Team Cleaves, are assistant coaches. So it's, kind of the Southwest version of Michigan State. And so Miles Bridges is from Michigan State. But for those who don't know, he had a domestic violence charge against him a couple of years ago. I am a person who definitely believes in second chances. I just don't give him a whole lot. So I'm not going to hold it 100% against him because there's a lot of people in sports that aren't saints. I understand that. But then he violated an order. There was all sorts of issues. Plus, here's the other thing, too, and it kind of goes back to Ray Rice and a number of people. It's one thing to talk about it, and it's another thing to see it. So she sent the pictures out when it happened. It was horrific, what he did, and the follow-up to it as well, where he was throwing pool balls at her. I mean, the details of this, the pictures from this just paints a really bad picture. And then on top of this, Matt Ishbia has come out, and he had built a team like this until this point, saying that, character did matter because the Suns had all sorts of issues before he arrived with their former owner, Robert Sarver. And then he goes out and does this. And to me, just on the surface, it looks like he's just trying to bring in another Michigan State Spartan. And it's almost like fantasy. When you sit there and you do a fantasy football draft, because it's the only one I play, the other ones take way too much time and there's too many games. But I play fantasy football. And one of the things I try to do is I try to not draft with my heart. Like all of a sudden you'll see a person in the draft and you kind of laugh at them that say, I don't know, we'll just throw out a certain team. That's I don't know, I was going to say Jets fan, but nobody's a Jets fan. Like somebody's a 49ers fan, right? And they get Brock Purdy and they get Christian McCaffrey and they get, they get all their players. And it's like, okay, that's kind of weird. Well, he almost seems like a fantasy owner that's trying to get all the Michigan State people because Miles Bridges is a Michigan State player and he's okay. But one of the things this morning when I was reading about this story was when you send out unprotected first-round picks, and the NBA is always changing, and of course they're flattening the odds as far as the lotto is concerned, but the players who were traded for unprotected first-round picks in this offseason so far, Giannis Antetokounmpo and LaMelo Ball. Whatever you think of LaMelo Ball, he's a far better player, I think, than Miles Bridges. And so Miles Bridges was also traded for an unprotected first-round pick, and it's like going back to Sesame Street or what was it, the electric company? What in this whatever doesn't belong? Miles Bridges doesn't belong. And if you're going to take a swing at a player in any sport who has off the field, off the court, off the ice, off the whatever baggage, you want it to be for a player who's going to make it worth your while. I mean, that's just, you can scream and yell all you want. Well, if you're going to do that, it better be for a really good player. I have a term I love to use. It's called talent versus tolerance. In other words, if you have enough talent, a team will tolerate a lot. And so when I look at my talent versus tolerance thing, and you're more than welcome to steal that and keep it for your own, when I look at my talent versus tolerance scale, Miles Bridges does not compute to me. I don't think he's talented enough to take on that kind of baggage, but it seems to me that Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, is playing fantasy basketball and wants to get all the Michigan State Spartans on his team. So there's that side of things. And by the way, that's strong. 310-840-4910. What do you think? And then the last one, as far as before we get on to crazy, this is, again, another rumor. I'm completely confused by the fact that, and again, maybe this is just rumors, that Jaylen Brown is being shot the way he is. The latest, and it's been all over the board, the latest with Jaylen Brown is this morning the Denver Nuggets, which would make a ton of sense because Denver is kind of stuck in neutral, spinning their tires since they won their title. It's like, how's Denver going to reinvent itself? And I don't know if this is true or not. Again, there's a lot of weird accounts out there, a lot of people trying to make a name for themselves. And so Shams hasn't said anything about it. So that's my general rule. Shams hasn't said it. It didn't happen or isn't going to happen. But Jaylen Brown, I don't know how they're going to do it and how they're going to get him and who they're going to trade and whatever. But I can't believe that Boston wants to get rid of Jaylen Brown as much as being reported. But I think Denver would be a great spot for him. And then everybody seems to be talking about this thing that Bobby Marks was talking about, which is the analytics say he's the 7th best player on the Celtics. It's like, then your analytical machine is broken. Like, it's just one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Jaylen Brown went to debunk it. Hey, Jaylen, you don't even have to acknowledge. You know, the one thing I would say to him is things that are that stupid, and I have a lot of friends like this, and I'm occasionally will do this. Like, when you say something so stupid that doesn't deserve a response, I wouldn't even respond to it. He's not the 7th best player. Like, the Celtics don't even have 7 good players beyond, he and Jason Tatum. It's like, are you kidding? So anyway, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. If I'm Boston, I don't understand it because Jaylen Brown, for example, when there was so much discussion of Giannis and all the different things that Boston would have to give in addition to Jaylen Brown, I'm like, this just in, Jaylen Brown was better than Giannis last year. He's a really good player, affects both the offensive and defensive end, and I don't get it. But then again, I'm not the smartest guy alive. What do you think, Addie?
You're one of them. I would say you're up there. You were up there. This is what's funny to me is that I feel like they're forgetting that they've won recently. It's not like they've gone years and years and years and they haven't won. They've won recently. They don't need to shop all of their big guy, the face of that franchise, in my opinion, right now. They don't have to shop that person. You just got to get a couple new little pieces and stuff like that. Not go out and go big and do like a Giannis trade and get all blah, 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 blah. Like, you don't have to do that. You're not the Bucks. You're not the team that hasn't won in a little bit now, like a couple years now. Like, you're fine. So that's just... It's interesting, and like I said, I don't believe trade rumors until I see like a big name on that. So I take everything with a grain of salt because everybody wants to be like, oh, look at this flashy trade, and it's like, here's Jaylen Brown. We'll give you Jaylen Brown, and in return you'll get 3 third-round picks, and next year's like, no, like that's my other thing is I hate when people do like trade predictions or trade proposals. I'm like, You're not an owner. You have no idea what you're doing at the end of the day. You're sitting in a computer in front of a computer just like I am.
Yeah, and it just seems like, I don't know what the NBA subculture is on this whole thing, but there are so many accounts, and I don't know who a lot of these people are, but it always ends up, somebody asking me a question or DMing me or something. What do you think of this? And I'm like, I don't know who that guy is. I have no idea. And there's so many people who like to impersonate people and all these different things, and it doesn't seem to be like that in the other sports. I mean, to an extent. But everybody's trying to be famous, and then someone will throw out 100 things, and then they'll get right one of them, and they'll go, hey. And it's like, dude, you're not Shams. I mean, I don't know how Shams got to be who he is as quick as he is, but unless, like, NBA-wise, him, Sam Amick's really good. NFL-wise, it's either Rap Sheet or Adam Schefter. There's a couple more. Jay Glazer's really good. There's maybe a couple more. Baseball-wise, it seems like passing or bust
Diana
to me.
Rossini.
By the way, just because you mentioned it, why are they continuing to drag her through the mud? I mean, what she did is what she did. And the New York Times,
she's like, I'm on the phone with the president. I'm on the phone with the coach of the Browns.
It's like, at this point, to me, she's become a sympathetic figure. Like, leave her alone. She quit for this very reason. Like, the next day after she knew that she got busted, she was like, I'm out. And they're continuing to do an investigation. And it's like, for what? Like, she didn't, I mean, isn't that enough that she quit literally the second went, wait a minute, man, you look like you were pretty chummy with this guy. I'm out. Okay. But we're still going to investigate. It's like, well, why? Why are you investigating her? Give the woman a break. Her career's over. Like, I don't know what she's going to be doing to make a buck, but my gosh, man. It's like, what are you investigating? We have found out that, you know what? She was having an affair. It's like, well, isn't that what everybody thinks? I don't know.
No, they were there
Might
with
be
other
those
people.
studies.
They were there with like 6 other people. You just didn't see them. You just didn't see them, guys.
You didn't see him. Yeah, that whole thing's weird. But yeah, man. Is anybody going through? Well, yeah, there are a lot of people going through it rougher. But I'm just saying, from a career standpoint, she's sitting back.
I'm
going,
sick.
Guys, I quit.
She can get over it. She asked for that. I didn't ask for this. She can get over it.
I'm sending stuff. I'm sending stuff. I'm just sending stuff. Not to be creepy or anything like that, but I'm sending stuff. All right. Thanks for joining us. We are, I think, contractually obligated. No, we're not, but we will. Through the World Cup. I got a couple of soccer questions, and I know we have a soccer guest coming up, about an hour and 20 from now. So I got to prep for that as well and not to sound like a dumb American, because there's so many people in our industry right now that are like, all of a sudden they're soccer experts. Like there's a couple of national talk show hosts, sports talk show hosts that are like, and our back line's a little thin. And it's like, dude, come on, man. Stop reading Chat GPT about, soccer 101. Like, it's so many national hosts are doing that now. Like, Chat GPT, how can I sound smart talking about soccer? And then it's like they're literally reading down the thing in Chat GPT ease.
Right. Let me just,
like, you can hear it.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Let me just get it.
Like, you can hear, like, jeez. Just hit the button where Chat GPT can talk. The backline of the soccer, it's like, my goodness. Anyway. Tangent after tangent this morning. All right, let's do hit this, and I'll try to not sound like a stupid American, but I have questions. Let's do that coming up next. Thanks for joining us, Drake Toll Show. Laura and Addie are in. Addie is hurting. If you'd like to be nice, and Drake Toll Show YouTube chat line, not like you normally are. Please be nice and genuine. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. will not continue the show until Addie sings some Brian Johnson with her bad throat. That's how it's going to be. I don't think you're going to do that. Addie's hurting today. Oh. There we go. That was not Addie, by the way. But I should have said that perfect too. You did that. Thank you for joining us. It is the Drake Toll Show. John Lund is in for Drake. I believe Drake's going to be back tomorrow, right? It's a weird week because July 4th. What day is July 4th? Saturday? July 4th Saturday?
Yeah. He's on a red eye right now.
Is he though? Is he though? Right.
Actually, you know what's funny is I can check.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can see
Is he like a child and you have that thing on his phone? Like my ex-wife had that. Until my kid's 22, and my wife had a tracker on him like the whole time in college. And I'm like, get that thing all wave. Come on, man. Give me tracker.
He's been in the air for 4 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
Wait,
tracking him like that.
does that Apple thing actually track?
No, I just know his flights. I know his flights.
Oh, his flight thingy.
I think you're tracking him. I think that's weird. That you're
I know his flights. He tells me that.
All right, I'm just double checking. She didn't. I would be like, hey, have you heard from our son today? And my ex-wife would text me back. He's on the corner of this and this, and he was in class 8 minutes ago. And I'm like, oh my god. Like, stop.
I had a roommate in college, and her parents would do that. She'd be like, their parents would text her when she was in another dorm room visiting our other teammate. I was like, guys, we're adults. We're adults.
That's wrong.
My parents could, like, my parents, and they're great parents. I love them so much. I think like where I'm at because of them. But like they're like out of your 24. Like unless something was like genuinely wrong and they need like no, like you're an adult.
I never tracked my son. Never. Not 1 minute in his whole life. It was like when I grew up, if my parents would try, like I thought it was invasive. That's when they got.
I'd be like, why is John in the ditch?
Right. Well, that's the other thing too. I didn't want to be tracked, so I was like, you're not tracking me. Are you kidding me? Not to go off on a tangent, but you don't need divorces, I'm sure. I don't know if Facebook has caused more or being tracked has caused more. You go, where are you right now? Oh, I'm at the movies. I used to always say that to my parents. They're like, God, you've seen every movie 52 times. Like, I'm at the movies. And then you're at some party, 16, drinking beer, whatever. I'm at the movies. Like, if when I was growing up and they had trackers, that would have been terrible. That would not have been good. Not have been good. I rarely attended high school, as you can tell. My education level was rather low. My IQ was rather low. But anyway, I digress a little bit. By the way, I'm a little bit surprised now. Look, I don't know how accurate these numbers are. These seem to be accurate. Then we're going to do a little conversation about soccer and the World Cup and so forth. Top of the hour. If you haven't heard the Brandon Aiyuk, the latest from Brandon Aiyuk, it is unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen a player, heard a player go in on a former team like this. He's like a less talented Antonio Brown. So we'll do that at the top of the hour. But the top 10, this is TV ratings, top local markets in watching the World Cup. A little surprised. I thought I knew what the pockets were in soccer, but number 1 on the list is Kansas City. Number 2, Boston. Number 3, Austin, Texas, maybe the greatest college town that we have in the U.S. possibly.
And don't forget,
Dallas is a big, very good. Dallas is number 4. I don't know who's in Austin that you would be interested in. Probably no one. Number 4 is Dallas, which is a big. Did you say Archie Poo? Did you say Archie Poo, or did I hear that wrong? You did. You did say that.
I think I said that. I did say that for sure.
Wow, I just was wondering. Dallas is a big soccer area, no doubt. San Diego is number 5 on the list. San Francisco 6. That's a big soccer area. Plus, of course, they have the games there. Atlanta's 7. Richmond 8. D.C., where you are, is 9. And St. Louis is 10. Now, missing from that list in the top 10, L.A., which I would have thought would have been watching this quite a bit. The Northwest with Seattle and Portland, those are big soccer areas. I thought maybe those would be places. But generally speaking, okay. I think everybody's watching to a certain extent, but Kansas City on top. D.C. 9. So you're in D.C. I mean, is there? Do you feel that there's a buzz around the World Cup in D.C.? Because that they come in 9 on the top 10 list.
Oh my goodness. No matter like what match is going on. So a couple weeks ago I went to watch Mexico and South Korea. Everybody in that part of town, everybody had a Mexican jersey on. Everybody was wearing one. I was like, "Oh my gosh, where have y'all been this entire time? My brothers and sisters, where are you?" Part of the rebrand, of course. And then the other week, I was at a pub. I was at a pub watching the USA match. And
Now
it's
there's
just,
a shocker.
USA, 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 and like it was just crazy. Like the vibes were insane. Now Austin also doesn't surprise me because now that they have their own soccer team, soccer is huge in Austin now.
Yeah.
It's the only pro sports team that they have outside of college, but pro. That's what they have, Austin FC. But up here, I'm shocked. I can walk down the street and every single like cafe, bar, restaurant has World Cup watch party. World Cup watch party. They all have the banners. They all have the flags. The coffee shops have this. They're like, go upstairs to go watch the World Cup. It's insane in the best way possible. I love it.
Yeah, it's been cool. The only drawback, and Laura, I'll ask you this because you're in an actual office atmosphere, although you're there really, really early, so maybe not. But on Friday, I noticed this because obviously the U.S. was playing. Where did everybody get their soccer jerseys all of a sudden? Like I walk in, I'm doing a local show here in Phoenix, and I walk in on Friday, and I'm not kidding you, because it's a sports area, so that's kind of. But there's a news talk station, which, by the way, no offense, but if I did do news talk, so we're like, there's a split of all these areas. I know you just did the like. News, like I look at these people and I'm like, oh my God, you have to do this all day long. Like I feel so bad for you. And they hate us because we're like having fun and joking around and they're like, news is very serious. Anyway, so that's the dynamic I walk into. It's sports, half news. And then there's a bunch of salespeople and everything. I'm not joking when I say this. Probably 60% of people had soccer jerseys on. And it's not like they, you know how they try to do morale around the office? It's soccer jersey day. Everyone wears a jersey. Like it's not that. It's just people, hey, let's build morale. Let's everyone wear a soccer jersey. Like, it wasn't that, that kind of a thing. It was just like I walked in, I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea. Like, is it like, when there's a certain song on the radio and you roll your window up because you don't want people to know that you listen to Britney Spears or something, but like, where was everybody's soccer jersey? Like, everyone just pulled them out. My co-host that I was working with had an Italian jersey, and I'm like, Italy's not even in the World Cup. Like, what is going on? Are you guys noticing that? It's wild.
No,
like,
it's
funny.
Everywhere. It is funny. I'm like,
it's a Starbucks. It's the office.
The other night when I was at another bar, okay, watching a different match, I was like,
no, wait a minute, Laura, she got sick. She's at bars a lot.
No, I know why I got. Yeah, like it's so obvious. I was up until 6 a.m. like Friday night into Saturday
Nashville,
morning.
the Nashville trip. So that
no, this was in DC. This was last weekend, yes,
recent.
but also in DC.
I can't keep it straight.
I'm sorry. So
Really
yes, I probably did it for myself.
Okay,
But no,
so
everybody
jerseys,
the jerseys people were wearing, other than the typical Messi jerseys whenever Argentina was playing and everything like that. I was just like, where did you all come from? Where did y'all find these jerseys?
Yeah.
Like what?
Oh,
it's insane.
Amazon, I'm sure eBay got
Yes.
some rush
No, I've been
orders,
trying to find an
man.
Ochoa jersey for less than $200. I might have to just get one like in Mexico at like one of the small shops.
Well,
where
at
it's,
least
like,
you're in
20
LA.
pesos.
Oh man, those
Right.
the downtown LA. Oh yeah, those.
Yeah. LA's got to be
They
nuts,
went
right?
straight to
Everybody's
TJ.
got to wear it.
They went straight
Yeah.
to TJ.
You can get one of those for like $4 now.
Oh yeah.
The
Don't, if you
numerals
guys
are going
want
to
one, I
fall
can
off
go
the
get
first
one
time
and
you
send
wash
them
it.
to you. Just
See?
give me your address. I'll
That's a
rush
good
order
idea.
for you. Don't
That's a
worry, I
really
got
good
you.
idea. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I was going to talk about something totally different, but we got stuck on that. But that was good. There is our obligatory soccer. We're going to get more to it about an hour from now. We've got a super genius, and he'll break down the World Cup. But 7 o'clock hour number 2 of the program. If you haven't heard this Brandon Aiyuk stuff, it's getting wild, and I got a little bit of speculation here that this goes beyond a few things. I got a couple of stories because I worked for the Niners for a while, and I know Brandon Aiyuk quite well. So I'll give you a little bit of story on that. We'll do that coming up next. Hour number 2. Laura, Addie's hurting a little bit, but man, she's getting through this whole thing. It's the Drake Toll Show. John London for Drake on Westwood One Sports.
This is what
Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Happy Monday. I hope you are great. It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake will be back tomorrow. Addie is here. Laura is here. Addie knows where Drake is. She says she's not. She doesn't have him on her phone or anything like that. She just happens to know where he is.
He tells me these things.
We gotta track him like a child, you know. Make sure.
Yes, she is. I believe she
Where
is.
he is.
I believe she is. Where are you? Where are you? I want to know. Thanks for joining us for hour number 2. We appreciate it. 20 minutes from now. You'll want to stay with us, and right now as well. But Addie sent me this stat about NFL arrests and players, and of course it has to do with Terry and Arnold. So we'll do that at 20 minutes past. It is absolutely shocking. We'll do that. But then this is not an arrest. What we'll do to start hour number 2. By the way, I digress. Moving back a little bit. We still haven't had our caller of the day at 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. I put soccer on the table. Lots of NBA trades and moves. Or just, you can wish us happy Monday or that Addie feels better. Whatever it is you want to do at 310-840-4910. And the rest of one.
Here's what's
Sports
up for grabs today.
What is up for grabs? Oh, did you come up with something?
A monkey clock.
Oh my God. I would call. Can I disconnect and call for that? That's a clock?
Yeah.
What does it do when it sets an alarm? Like you set an alarm, does it sound like a monkey when the
No.
alarm's going off?
I have a weird obsession
Still
with
pretty
clocks,
cool,
so I have
though.
a lot of clocks. And so then I play
That's
music on
smart.
it when I'm leaving, so Sinatra will have music. I mean, no, I don't think you understand. It's like I have like
Wow. That's amazing. Love it.
clocks.
Is that your
like
strangest clock? Is the monkey clock your strangest clock? If you're on the YouTube channel, Drake told you, you can see this monkey clock. It's unbelievable.
I have
like
a
that.
flip clock from the 80s. Flip.
Yeah.
I have one of those. I have a couple different ones from the 70s, 80s, 90s, but this is my 2000s clock, and it has a little thing where it can shine a light at the ceiling, and it shines a monkey.
I used to have one of those clocks back in the day that did shine it at the ceiling, and then after a while it was creepy. But the concept was really cool, like to wake up in the middle of the night, because before everybody was obsessed with their phones and everything, and you would look up and you'd know what time it was in the middle of the night, and you're good, so you didn't have to look around at a clock. So will that shine? No, it's just got
it shines a monkey
or something
at
there.
the time. Yeah, it shines a monkey at the time.
That's amazing. That's unbelievable. That's one of those things that you find in a garage sale. It's worth like $1,500 or something. I mean, that's good. Well, I'd keep that. I don't think that's worth.
Goodwill.
That's a good find at Goodwill. That's a really nice Goodwill find.
You.
Very, very nice.
Well
done by you. All right, let me explain this Brandon Aiyuk thing. It's really, really weird. And so I've got a background with the 49ers. I'm going to play the cut for you in just a second. But if you're not paying attention, to just kind of go back just for a quick second. Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers had a contentious contract negotiation when his deal was up. He was coming off a really nice season. And I was covering 49ers training camp that year, and I had covered the 49ers for many, many years. And I worked for the flagship radio station of the 49ers. And not only had I talked to Brandon Aiyuk on many, many occasions, also for training camp coverage, there's a lot of radio stations do this in all your local markets. You go down for training camp, and we talked to Brandon Aiyuk on many, many occasions in person, and he was a real nice mellow guy. He was, since you never would have thought he would have kind of turned into what he's turned into in this whole thing. But weird things happen when people want what they want or don't want what they don't want, which is in this situation. But the thing I'm pointing out is, even though he was going through a tough contract negotiation, he won $30 million a year, which at that point, that was the year where all these wide receivers got paid. It was really strange, just one after the other. All of a sudden, it was like, oh my God, we got to pay wide receivers $30 million a year, and everybody's falling all over themselves to give him big contracts. Well, that's what he was in the midst of. But the strange part was not that. It was that Brandon Aiyuk was a hold-in, which has kind of become a popular thing, so you don't get fined nowadays. But before all the reporters came in, before the practices, the training camp practices a couple years ago, he would be on the field, and he would be in sweats, and he would be high-fiving Kyle Shanahan and dabbing up John Lynch. And even though it was just really weird, and we all talked about it on the radio, like, he seems to have a great relationship, they just can't seem to get the number. Well, during that time, the Patriots weren't as good, but they tried to trade him to the Patriots. He said no, because remember, he had to sign an extension. Browns no, Steelers no. Like, there was a number of teams that the Niners said, would you go here, would you go here, would you go here, and he wouldn't. So ultimately, they get the deal done, and they bend, and he gets the $30 million a year. And he gets a big signing bonus and a bunch of guaranteed money. And so you're thinking everybody's happy, right? He's happy. He was even happy when he didn't have the contract. And then he injures his knee severely, a few different places, the ACL, the MCL, all that kind of stuff. So it's a big-time rehabilitation. And for a while, everything is fine and everything is working, and we're asking the questions. And at the beginning of last season, a lot of people thought, well, is it going to be game 4, game 6, game 8? John Lynch, their general manager, would have glowing things to say about Brandon. He's working really hard. It looks like he's on track. And all of a sudden, we got to that point in the season when we started asking questions about why is he back? And all of a sudden, the organization starts talking in a vague fashion. And I've done this long enough and been a reporter long enough to know, like, wait a minute, something's wrong here. And we go and we go and we go. And then we start finding out that things aren't so copacetic between the 49ers and Aiyuk. And I don't know what happened. It hasn't been a secret that he wanted to go to Washington and play with his good friend Jaden Daniels. Before Daniels went to LSU, won a Heisman Trophy, was the second pick in the draft. He was an Arizona State quarterback, and that's where he and Aiyuk played together. And they're close friends. So all of a sudden, things started to go south. And then this offseason, of course, he starts a tirade of weird type of social media posts. But the one that I'm going to play for you right here, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, is probably the most damning. And I know we're all a prisoner of the moment, but it's almost, I think not almost, it's the most damning I've ever seen against or heard against a team. Because as I told you, the reason I told you that story about the training camp and being so close with Kyle Shanahan, who a lot of players like, and John Lynch, who's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in this business, is that they're very well respected. John Lynch played, obviously, for the Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl, is in the Hall of Fame. He's built pretty good rosters, or helped Kyle Shanahan do it in San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan is very well respected by his players. I've never heard, honestly, one negative thing from a former, current, whatever, a lot of people respect Kyle Shanahan. So it flies in the face of what Aiyuk is trying to do here. And in my mind, I don't know if he's got a mental issue. I don't know if he's turning into a less talented Antonio Brown. I have no idea. But I wanted to give you a background on him because this is very out of character, these things that he's been doing. But I think the latest is the topper. Here is Brandon Aiyuk, and we cleaned it up best we could the other day.
General manager gonna pull up to my house. Oh, weird. Like, bro, don't pull up to my house on the way. Shit ain't safe. But I knew his ass was gonna do it. So I'm looking at my camera, my front door camera. See a big old white man, former NFL safety. And I'm like, oh, hell no. And I know my wife is about to be back home soon. So I had to call my wife and say, it's a big ass white man at the house. I don't know what he doing over there. He was not invited. Creepy. So if you on your way home, probably just spin the block a few times, because I don't know what bro on. Like, weird. The same general manager that tried to run me down and come apologize for his head coach, because his head coach got a temperament of a toddler.
All right, that's all we can play for you, because the rest of it gets really nasty and we beeped up as much as we could. But to decipher that, if you didn't follow it, he's dripping on John Lynch. He said that John Lynch came to his house, calls Kyle Shanahan a toddler. And I think what he's trying to do is having the opposite effect, because I know the organization. They don't have to pay him right now. He's on the reserve restricted list. They don't have to count him as a roster spot. They could let the guy rot. And in the book of Al Davis back in the day, because if you remember the Marcus Allen situation years and years ago, Al Davis would. Now, I don't think the 49ers can do that, because at some point, and this is kind of the modern way of professional sports, and I think one of the reasons why a lot of NBA players can force their way out of organizations, and a lot of athletes can, is because after a while, it's like, it's just not worth the headache, let's just move on. But they're not going to let him just walk out the door and go to the Commanders, because they play the Commanders this year. And the other thing that I think is the effect that this is having with Brandon Aiyuk is Adam Peters is the general manager of the Commanders. He helped draft Brandon Aiyuk to the 49ers out of Arizona State, who they traded up into the first round to get. And I'm not so sure that Adam Peters wants him or this on his team. Now, maybe this is all contrived to do that. The NFL is probably going to look into tampering charges at one point. But in most of these videos, he'll hold up a Commander's ball, or he'll hold up or have a Commander's hat on or something like that. I think it's having, A, the opposite effect. The 49ers are like, okay, if you're going to continue to do this, we're going to dig in our heels more and keep you as long as we can, and then cut you as late as we can. And then B, if I'm the Commanders and I'm sitting around, this isn't the Daniel Snyder Commanders. They're trying to bounce back from a bad year, and they're thinking to themselves, do we want this on our team? Because generally speaking, and I don't mean to stereotype wide receivers, but they can be a handful sometimes. And the fact that he's trying so hard to do this, the reason why John Lynch showed up at your house is because you went MIA. In the middle of his rehab, they're like, hello. He wouldn't call him back. He wouldn't text players back. He would dark on everybody, like the coach, the general manager, players, everything. Nobody has heard from him. Most of the time, players have the backs of other players. George Kittle came out the other day and said, good riddance to this dude. Like, you never hear that. So he's completely ghosted the organization. That's why John Lynch showed up at your door, man. Like, dude, let's get this worked out. We got, let's get this worked out somehow. And he's probably mad because the Niners took his money. You stopped showing up for work. Look, I'm not trying to side with the man here, but if you stop showing up for work, they're going to stop paying you. And that's exactly what happened. So anyway, just a weird situation. But again, I'll defer to you, Ed, because you're in D.C. Like, the Commanders, they're trying to dig out of years and years and years, and they had the one good year, but still, they've got a relatively new owner. They're trying to instill a different culture than the culture we all know that existed before then, and they were getting sued. So they're trying to dig out from all of this stuff. And then you see this Antonio Brown wannabe guy. And it's like, I know he wants to be here, but that doesn't mean we want him here. Like, under normal circumstances, sure. But here's the other thing. Again, I'll go back to talent versus tolerance. Like I said a little bit earlier on in the show, when it came to the Miles Bridges trade, Brandon Aiyuk's not Antonio Brown. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not JSN. He's not Puka Nacua. Like, he missed the entire year last year and half the year before that. So I'm not. Talent versus tolerance tells me that Brandon Aiyuk's not really worth it. So where would Washington sit in this whole thing?
Right off the bat, I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I do, and I know people, oh my God, here she is trying to defend him. No, like, this is obviously, he's not okay. He's not well. It's exactly what we saw with Antonio Brown, and it's really sad to see it happen because it's just, in my brain, it's like you can't even control some of the things that you're doing because you're not you. You really aren't you. And if you know what I'm talking about, kind of like, I think, I do not want to diagnose here, but it kind of looks like another case of CTE. It really does look like that. But on the other hand, this is like a relationship. You're with the 49ers. You're like, oh, look at that boy over there. I'm gonna go kiss him for a little bit, even though you and I are together. We're together. Just try that out really quickly. And then you're gonna go back, and the 49ers are like, all right, come back, come on, thank you so much. Like, I know you did that. And then the Commanders are like, wait a minute, that's his morals. That's where he's at. That's what he's willing to do. Like, why would you want that on your team? Why would you want to date that person kind of hypothetically? He's a nutcase right now, and it's really sad. The Commanders are trying to rebuild, not like in terms of playing well on the field, like you said, their image. They're trying to rebuild their image.
Change their culture.
Yes, I think they are doing a good job. They've taken a step in the right direction these past couple seasons. I understand with injuries and stuff that kind of is difficult to do. But man, I would rather you pull someone out of retirement than be like, you know what? This guy, the one who's going on the crazy tirades on his social media, that's our guy. That's our guy. Because Lord knows what's going to happen. If you make him mad at certain things, I wonder if he's going to do that again. I wonder if he's like, you know what? How about this? I'm now a Jets fan. I want to play for the Jets. I want to play for the Jets. You know, like, it's you don't know what you're getting into with him. And that's the scary part about a player like that, is when you don't know what you're going to get one day to the next.
Well, I think your analogy is perfect. Is if you acquire a relationship through like cheating, like once a cheater, always a cheater, like that's what I'd be thinking about if I was the Commanders. Is like, look, if he does it once, he's going to do it again. So Antonio Brown moves on to the Raiders. He's crazy. We all saw that in Hard Knocks. And he's taking the balloon into Napa, and all of a sudden, and he's nuts and he's crazy. And then Tampa, like, you know, hey, Tom Brady's here. He'll get control of him. And for a minute, he did, and then went crazy again. And then finally was like, look, we're not doing this again. This smacks of that big time. Here's the other thing that people forget, because I was at the facility that day. They were going to trade Brandon Aiyuk to Pittsburgh. They had finally said, okay, John Lynch, his office is upstairs. Kyle Shanahan, their head coach, is downstairs. Kyle literally sprinted upstairs after speaking with Aiyuk and told John Lynch, stop, don't do the trade. They gave him the money he wanted. They did everything he wanted. He won this whole thing. And then he got angry with them, and the only reason they pulled the money back from him, which they could do through the NFLPA, was he stopped showing up. He went completely dark on the entire organization, on the GM, on the head coach, on the owner, on every player on the roster. He just said, no, I'm not going to rehab with you. And again, you don't have to rehab at the facility. There's a lot of teams that understand, okay, you got your people. We just want you to check in occasionally. We want your doctor to get with our doctor, who can then look at the X-rays, the MRIs, the whatevers, to make sure you're on pace. And he was doing that for a little while. Then all of a sudden he just stopped. And they warned him on numerous occasions, like, look, we're going to pull the money. We're going to. And they finally just said, we're not hearing from you. We'll give you a final chance. They didn't just one day decide we're not paying the guy. So that's where, as you pointed out, I don't know what's going on in his head. I'm certainly not a doctor, obviously. But it's just this whole situation is the strangest. And then this latest thing where he essentially goes off in the GM and goes off in the head coach. If I'm Adam Peters, who knows him again because he helped draft him, he was the assistant general manager to John Lynch when Aiyuk was drafted, there's no way I'm bringing him into this organization, especially as you just pointed out, where I'm trying to change the culture. Look, he and Terry McLaurin and, get Daniels healthy again, that would be great. They're fixing the defense. Sonny Styles was a great pick. Like, I get it. Washington can certainly bounce back. But I go back to talent versus tolerance. Hey, Brandon, you're not that good, and you've missed a year and a half. And I'm thinking to myself, as you just pointed out, from a relationship standpoint, this guy is nuts. Like, are people on it? Like, he reminds me a little bit of John Morant at this point too, where it's like Memphis is like, anyone, like, they've got a for sale sign and he's in the front yard, like, yeah, like one of those old couches. Take me free, and it's like, no, like, I don't even want you free, right? Because here's the other thing. He's gonna want a new contract with Washington. And he's not going to come there for free. Man, this is crazy. Anyway,
CFL buddies.
Exactly. Which, by the way, I don't want to go off on a source tangent, but if the CFL is turning it down, like Brendan's be like, hey, can I come up there? And you're like, yeah, we don't want you, eh? It's like, Canada doesn't want this guy? My God. Anyway. I digress because we can get into a long one about that. All right, you sent me something last night as you went to bed early, but you sent me this thing that was absolutely mind-blowing to me about the NFL and arrest rates, and then we'll give you the latest on Terry and Arnold. This is an absolutely crazy story. We'll do that coming up next. The Drake Toll Show. Laura is here. Addie is here. John Lund with you. Drake's back tomorrow here on Western One Sports, the Western One Sports app.
She thinks she missed the train to Mars. She's out back counting stars. She thinks she missed the train to Mars. She's out back counting stars.
What's happening? Thanks for joining us. Happy Monday. I hope you are well. I hope you had an amazing weekend. Drake Toll Show with John Lund on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Addie is here. Laura is here. Lots of different ways to listen to the show. Sirius XM 375. You could be listening. WestwoodOneSports.com, or you can download the Westwood One Sports app. Hundreds and hundreds of radio stations across not only our fine country, USA, but our friends up in Canada as well. Hello. And, of course, you can go to the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel and see us live and in color. People are being nice. I guess are people being creepy on Laura too now? All of a sudden, I thought it was just reserved for
Oh, no.
There goes a
No,
viewer.
Addie, but now the creepy on Laura too. Nobody is okay. I was just checking. No, I was just checking.
The
I shouldn't call
reports
it
of people
creepy.
being weird with Laura, that's a fake news. That's a fake news. But with me, it said that you're lying. You're lying.
That's so good.
Touch yourself.
That's so good. She wants no part of it. She just wants no part of it. No comment? No nothing? We're okay? Everything's good? You just shake your head. She's like,
version.
She's just playing drop.
Nobody cares.
Yes. By the way, I wasn't sure I was going to bring this up, but this might be the moment because I'm fairly obsessed with your Donald Trump. I think it's one of the best around. I did see that because you weren't feeling well, so I don't know if we're not making you do it, but I just thought, I didn't know if I was going to bring it up. But right before the show, again, we're not a political show, we're a sports show. We just like to have fun. So don't take this for any way because people are going to freak out. But I read a story where naming a baby is an interesting thing, but it said 395 Donalds in the entire country were named so far this year. It's the lowest amount of Donalds in U.S. history being named Donald. There's only 395 in the last year, 395, which is the lowest amount ever. Would the president like to opine on why there's such a low number of Donalds being born in our country?
I said this during the break, and I'll say it again. Like, you're gonna be like, here's our newborn son. His name is Donald. His name is Donald. This is Donald. This is a newborn. He's a newborn. His name is Donald. It's a great name. Donald. I think it's a perfect name for a newborn. That's atrocious, guys. Whatever name. Maybe if it's like a family heirloom name, whatever. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Donald. This is Donald J. Jackson the Fourth. Like, I just But
And somebody could call him Donald. Their middle name could be Trump. I mean, people could be that obsessed they are.
no, it's, no,
Trump Jackson or something.
no,
But
no,
just saying.
no.
Yeah. That is interesting, though. Because, people like when Michael Jordan was at a really high point, there was a lot of Michaels, there was a lot of Jordans. Like you see nowadays, like you can tell by basically it's been long enough now where it's like there's a lot of Jordans. There were some Kobe's. Therefore, like you could tell what,
Yeah.
oh, my son's name is. And it's like, oh, okay. Because you get in a battle. Like I remember my ex, of course, wife and I, we battled over names. It was like, well, okay, you get the middle name. You get like there's battles and wars in relationships. I was willing to go to war because we named my son after my dad, which was really cool. My dad had passed. So we're like, so she didn't put up a big battle. I mean, if your father passes or something, you kind of get, you're kind of like, yeah, it's gonna happen. But sometimes you come up with names and you're like, what in the what? And you know what you do? You think of when you're naming a baby, you think of someone with that name. Like I'll give you a great example, and this might be part of my character, but a friend of mine, and this is years and years ago, named their daughter Jenna. Well, of a certain generation, there was a porn star that had that name, and she was wildly popular. And so, and I said this in front of his wife, which was a major mistake. And I said to my friend, I said, you're going to name again, no offense to anybody with this name, it's a beautiful name. But in the, 90s, early 2000s, there was a porn star with that name. And she was with the rocket, number one with a bullet, right? And so my friend told me that's what we're going to name her. I go, are you sure? Like final? Like, who wants to be a millionaire? Final? Or would you like to, phone a friend?
Good answer.
Final? And good answer, yeah. And I was like, are you sure? And she's a beautiful girl. They did name her that. But when they were debating it, and of course, we were having cocktails, of course, and his wife was sitting right there, and I go, but that's Jenna Jameson's name. Like, you can't name her that. And they did.
Why would you do that?
They did.
That's
And she's beautiful, and it's been a long time and everything.
Okay,
But I was just, at the time, it was like,
Whenever I do know people who've been named after famous athletes, like my cousin up here. He has the coolest middle name ever. Maybe I'm biased because it's my favorite saying of all time. His middle name's Graham, after Jimmy Graham. because we're all saying
Ooh, that's a cool name.
And so like it sounds
Oh,
cool.
that's
Sawyer
cool.
Graham. And
Yeah.
then my other little cousin up here, her name's Peyton, Sean Peyton. Like it's
Oh,
cool.
I
Like,
like
these are
that.
cool
Oh, I think
names.
Peyton Manning.
No,
But
no.
you're no. If you have a child though, boy, girl, or indifferent, it's gonna be Arch, right? It's gonna be Archie.
Well,
Like,
so I'm gonna get a dog next month,
kid's
and it's
name
gonna
gonna be
be Archibald.
Oh,
Arch.
that's
It's gonna
cool.
be Arch Bates.
That's
But
pretty
yeah. But when I marry Arch Manning, it'll probably be a junior. It'll probably be a
Junior.
I
AJ.
love that name,
You have an AJ.
which is my initials. I'm Adeline Juliet, so I'm AJ
Oh,
Arch
okay.
Jr.
Oh, what?
There's
Great.
so many
Oh,
reasons why
Juliet.
we should be together.
Oh,
Right?
She's holding her hand
wow.
like in
Right.
lock. So you know.
Right? Say it.
Right?
You agree. Say it. Say
That
you
wasn't
agree.
creepy at all, right? Yes, yes. Whatever you say. Of course.
So
Oh
yeah,
my
so those
gosh.
are cool. Like I think when you got think of like old timey names. I know Donald is an old name, but like there's like
Yeah.
names like Oliver coming back, Archibald. I know that's an old name, but then you
Yeah.
do, like I'm not just to talk about. But then there's the nicknames Archie, Arch. Like those are the
Yeah,
nicknames that
that
go with
works.
it.
That can
What you're
work.
calling a
Yeah.
newborn is it Don? Don. It's just Don. Call him Don. Call him Don.
Well, it has to be
Like,
Dawn. Like, I don't know how you get
Awful.
through with, like, you're 7. This is Donald. Like, I mean, that's, some, and again, whatever, if that's, like you said, family heirloom, things like that, that's, I get that kind of thing. But, like, yeah, like, as a kid, you're like, man, how do you, Don is good. You can call, like, I have friends named Don. That's cool. I don't know. if
Yeah,
they're
but like a
Don.
4-year-old named Don.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, that makes
interesting. You think the hair.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, you definitely think of the hair. Yeah. Names are, yeah. It's here's the other thing though, and again, we'll get on. I promise. But since we're on this tangent, it's scary naming your kids after athletes because you just don't know. Like, I'm not sure. It was too complicated of a name, but this is the first one that comes to my mind. But I don't know if there was a bunch of, Orenthal James. Like, if you name your kid after OJ, it's like, like you might have to go back and change that one. Because Orenthal, like, I'm sorry, I only know one Orenthal. What's your son's name?
Sounds
Orenthal
like a
James.
toothpaste, like
Ooh,
ingredient.
that's unfortunate. Like, how do you do that one? Like, OJ, you got it. I mean, I don't know. Was it OJ Howard, OJ Mayo? So I guess there were some OJs, and you don't necessarily relate it to that. But yeah, you can have some unfortunate, unique names that if they do certain things, like, I guess we're gonna have to change that one.
I
So,
would,
be careful.
because initially I was supposed to be named after John Lennon. I was supposed to be Lena Juliet, but then someone died, and so I'm Addie now. That's why I'm an Adelaide.
Yeah.
But then if I was a boy, my parents, by the way, their names are Julie and David. And I told them, like, you better be so happy I'm not a boy, because they were going to name me Julie and David. And I was like, that is awful. That is terrible. They're like, after Julian Lennon. And I'm like, I would have changed my name. I would have gone by David. Dad would have had to pick something else.
Yeah, but I mean,
Sorry.
you have a Julian Edelman, and they just call him Jules. I mean,
I
Jules is
hate the
kinda
name
cool.
Julian.
No?
Like, I don't like that name.
You don't like Julian?
It just reminds me of the lemur from Madagascar.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
but
See, that's what I mean.
not the lead singer of the
Julian Lennon? Julian Casablancas? What do you...
I mean, there's so many other Julians that you think of the Julian the monkey.
The lemur?
See, that's what I mean. Is that's there's certain people. See, but the thing is, my name is maybe the most unfortunate.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, that's
there
it.
it is.
See, that's
That's
what I
what I
mean.
was getting at.
It is. Yeah. See, I don't know how my name got connected with such a negative thing. So the name John is a toilet. The name John is also what you say is with the hooker. He was with LeBron, and that's a hook. But I know it really. It's like, how did I get so like? How did someone all of a sudden say a John is a toilet? It's like it had to be an angry woman and a guy cheated on her. It's like, okay, we're gonna
Like the English.
like exactly like it's a toilet. What do you mean it's a toilet? Get out of here! Why can't James be a toilet? Why can't a Bob be a toilet? Like, come on! But no, so like that's it. Yeah, like a Donald. Is it a Donald? Why can't that be a toilet? But it's not. And then if you're with a hooker, you're John. And it's like I've never been with a hooker. I'm not gonna be with a hooker. But why did my name? So it wasn't bad enough that I was a toilet. I had to become someone that was with a hooker as well, like a lady of the night. Oh, you're a John. Like, what?
I learned why.
How did that happen?
I learned why
You
it's called
did?
John.
I don't know
Yes.
that.
So it likely originates from a mix of 16th century royal history and polite euphemisms for a bathroom. So it's because of Sir John Harrington, an English writer and godson.
Really?
Oh, first line
He invented Britain's first flushing toilet.
British. Really?
That's why he invented the first flushing toilet.
I did not know that.
So you're basically royalty. You're toilet.
John Lyne's the royal.
Yeah, that's how I think. Yes, that's often how I think of myself. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. And right off the top of her head, there was Chat GPT involved in that. I'm watching her.
No, there was just a Google search. Just a Google search.
Now we know.
I appreciate you thinking on that smart. I can tell you how random musicians died, but not the origin of a toilet. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Anyway, we didn't mean to go off on a name tangent, but it started with, oh, very nice. I like that right there. It started with only 395 Donalds were named. I don't know if you make anything of that, but the lowest total in U.S. history. Everybody's like, no, it's going to come out with that hair. No. Anyway.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
And all I was doing really to start the show is when I saw that this morning, going, because there's only really two things I look for the show every day. Some sports content, but then there's two things. One is how to make Addie do a Donald Trump, and the second thing is how can I fit Arch Manning into the show at some point. And there were two things. I did see another 2027 mock draft that said Arch Manning was going to the Cardinals, and the second thing I saw was Peyton was asked, because Tennessee is playing Texas this year, so and you know that, but he was asked who he was going to root for. He said, well, obviously I have my ties to Tennessee, but he said family ties are stronger. So he's actually, as a Tennessee alum, he's going to root for Texas and Arch. So there you go.
How can you not root for Arch? I mean, like, how can you not?
Of course. By the way, this will make you angry. They're already starting to recruit Peyton's son, Marshall. Like, he's already getting scholar. He's like 14.
Oh, yeah, he's
based off. Yeah, it's based on some clip of him like on a field. No pads, no anything. He's just throwing a football. He's like sprinting out and all that kind of stuff. And he looks like maybe he has Arch's athleticism instead of Peyton and Eli. But he's like sprinting out, throwing balls. It's like, oh my God, colleges are like falling all over themselves to give him $10 million in NIL money. The kid's in like 8th grade.
What?
Oh, what are we doing? Insane.
It's the name.
All right. It's crazy. All right, let's do this. I promised you something. I did not come through. We started on a name tangent. That's what happens around here. But what we'll do is I got to get people, because I promised, this story that you showed me about NFL arrests and then the latest on Terry Arnold. It's absolutely crazy. Let's do that. And then at the top of the hour, we have a super genius that's going to join us and talk all about the World Cup because, of course, that is all the rage. So we'll do that at the top of next hour. It's a Drake Toll Show. John London in for Drake, Laura, Addie, the whole crew right here on Western One Sports and the Western One Sports app. Hello, friends. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate hanging out with us however you are listening. It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake will be back tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday, too, so I'm kind of bookending this thing. Drake will be in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I could be the first to July 4th this weekend, which, honestly, as I've gotten older, Christmas used to be the one, but July 4th is awesome. It's about barbecues and beers, and it's just a good time had by all. So that is coming up this weekend. Drake will be back tomorrow again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be back in on Friday. By the way, I can't believe we're saying this at this hour, at about 40 minutes or so past the hour. Still looking for our first phone call today. I don't care what you want to talk about. Go ahead, jump on the line. Randomly, 310-840-4910. Tell us what you want to talk about. We've given you so many things to discuss. We just talked about names. You don't even have to be an expert to talk about that. That is the Westwood One Sports Talk and Text line. Stick it away in your phone at some point. Top of the hour, Joe Malfa is going to join us. He's a super genius when it comes to soccer. And we're going to talk about not just the World Cup itself, but the success that has been. I think it's been wildly successful. The question that everybody's asking now that we're to the knockout round, what would be success for the U.S.? So we'll ask Joe at the top of the hour these questions. I promised you this, did not get to it last segment, so I don't want to be termed a liar. So let's get to this conversation. And Addie, you sent me this yesterday, and I'm pretty amazed by this. Let me preface one thing. I'm going to talk about arrests in the NFL and then get it into Terry and Arnold. But I know this, having covered a lot of NFL teams and talked to a lot of coaches about this 40-day period between the last camp, mandatory camp, and training camp, which starts in just a couple of weeks. It's crazy how fast the NFL has crept up on us. And one of the reasons it has is because it never stops. The offseason is just kind of an offshoot. The on-season is just kind of a different version. But the NFL does such an amazing job of staying relevant during the season, after the season, NFL draft, free agency. They've just got it timed out perfectly. And really the only time that is considered slow is June. And yet just a couple of weeks ago, Myles Garrett in early June was traded from the Browns to the Rams. So it's never really too far away. So we're always talking about the NFL. But you brought this up to me, and the Terry and Arnold thing is really crazy, the Lions Corner, which we'll tell you about in just a second. But you put this is from Polymarket Football. Arrests since 2000. The NFL has had 1,175, the NBA 550, Major League Baseball 437, NHL only 62. So you've got a per capita of 48.9 in the NFL, which is almost double the other sports, which is amazing to me. And then you have the list here from Marshawn Lattimore, Jordan Addison, Rasheed Walker, James Pierce Jr., Marquise Ball, Zachariah Branch. This is just this offseason. Nolan Smith, Josh Jacobs, et cetera, then Terry and Arnold being the latest, Alaric Jackson, ranging from, when Rashee Rice is not even on this list because it didn't happen this year. But, these are more than just misdemeanors. These are weapons charges. These are domestic violence issues, these kind of things. So first and foremost, when you sent me that and you wrote, NFL, we have a problem. I mean, that is, again, a lot of people get arrested. I've heard people defend this. This is not a new topic necessarily, but I've heard a lot of people say, well, what's the general public and all this kind of, and I get it. And they are under a white hot spotlight. There is more media than ever because anybody who's got a phone, you can't really hide anymore. You used to be able to be like, hey, let's not report this or whatever. You could have the police in your pocket or something like that. More so what people do now as far as law enforcement is concerned, they like to make examples of athletes or high-profile people. So, yeah, they have the money to get out of it. I'm not saying they don't, but you're seeing more and more of these things happen. So that's the first part. When I'm not sure where you got this, but when you saw this, were you as shocked as I was? Because I was like, wow, I understand the NFL is a violent sport. Maybe it lends itself to this. I don't know what what the NFL would say to this or what Roger Goodell would say to this. But, I mean, it is pretty shocking. That seems like a lot of arrests to me.
Was I shocked? I actually wasn't that shocked. And I think it's because the difference between NFL and baseball, like, you do this in baseball, let's say you beat someone, I mean, they'll bring you back. But the thing is, okay, let's go down to the farm system. Let's bring the next guy up. Let's just do the next guy up.
Yeah.
Next guy up mentality. NFL, it's not quite as deep as that. And so you can pretty much get away with a lot of different things because, hey, guess what? They need you. They actually need you. Your name is big enough, Puka Nacua. They need you out there. They need all of these players out there. So I think on top of the money and then just the lifestyle, yeah, I do think that you can get away with a lot more in the NFL. And so when you can get away with a lot more, then you're like, okay, let's keep pushing the boundary there. Let's just keep testing the waters to see how much we can get away with.
Yeah.
So was I surprised, though, this offseason alone? Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, my gosh, all of these. And it's a lot of domestic violence, a lot of domestic battery charges.
Yeah.
Like, guys, And I don't want to make excuses. I will not make excuses for it. But it makes you wonder, like, what is going on? I mean, we talked about Brandon Aiyuk. Okay, so maybe some CTE going on there. Maybe. Just an assumption here. I'm not an actual doctor, guys. But what else is going on outside of that? Because you're getting all the money you need. You can basically get anyone you want. Like, what? We're just living too lavish of a lifestyle now? We just want to do whatever?
Yeah, I mean, this is pure speculation on my part. A lot of times when you're rich, famous, you believe that you're above the law, number one. Number two, they play an aggressive sport and trying to differentiate what's on the field, off the field kind of a thing. Again, this is completely amateur psychology kind of stuff. But then to just kind of transfer this thing into Terry and Arnold, this blows my mind. And I don't know what the mentality here is. And it kind of reminds you of, if you remember, not OJ, the murder trial, but OJ afterwards, and this is what he actually went to prison for, is he had some things he thought stolen. He went back and threatened some people, and then he got in a lot of trouble for it. Well, Terry and Arnold arrested and charged with 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of armed robbery. Prosecutors allege that he orchestrated a vigilante attack in Florida in which 3 men were held at gunpoint, pistol whipped, and robbed over the belief that he had stolen his belongings, this from an Airbnb. This is February 2026. Reported over $250,000 in cash and valuables stolen from his Airbnb he rented in Largo, Florida. So just a really strange thing. But the victims were beaten, held at gunpoint. The assault was streamed. This is always a really smart thing to do. Streamed to Arnold, like that could net you. Hey, let's commit a crime, a violent crime, a felony, and let's make sure we stream it so they have a copy of it. So then when we go to court, that they can just play it, and then we can get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Brilliant, great idea. Let's do it. Break. He turned himself into Tampa authorities. Blah blah blah. Held without bond. So. Again, I have no idea on this, but the first thought of it to me is that maybe you couldn't leave a certain faction of your friends behind and you got involved in these kind of things. I have no idea. The fact that you weren't there, again, I don't know what's in Terry and Arnold's head, but I'm just kind of speculating. If I'm not there, I can't get in trouble. Dude, if you're orchestrating the thing, which is what they said he did, basically over stream, do this, do that, do this, do that. Really strange. And the first thing, I don't know, I just think this would be logic. Hey, I'm an NFL player. I have all the money I'll ever need. Even if I stink, he was a first-round pick, so you get a bunch of guaranteed money. Like, I can't be involved in this. And while $250,000 is not nothing, I make a lot more money than that. And if I have to, eat $250,000 because I'm Terry and Arnold, and they say, ego gets involved. They're not going to do this to me. Like, again, I'm speculating. I have no idea. I've never talked to Terry and Arnold in my whole life. But I just can't get past the fact that, and again, I did dumb things while I was young. Hell, I do a lot of dumb things now. I'm not very mature, as everyone can tell. But in my convoluted mind, there's no way. Like, if I'm him and I have all this money, oh, well, it's $250,000, water under the bridge, lesson learned. I know that people aren't logical all the time. But to then think, okay, I'm going to send my boys, and they're going to get it back, and they're going to beat these guys up, and and I'm going to orchestrate it. And hell, nobody can prove that. You're right, because your cell phone never gets you in any kind of trouble. They can't connect those two. I mean, what are you, crazy? So anyway, they probably have a copy of this. Authorities have, and look, I get it. Here's what we work as a society: guilty until proven innocent. I get it, and that shouldn't be the way that it is. So maybe Terry and Arnold did nothing wrong. But it certainly seems like he was involved in this to a certain extent, so much so that he's sitting in prison right now, or sitting in jail. Not in prison yet, but he's sitting in jail right now. And it's like, what happened here? It's insane.
With the vest.
Yeah, he had the vest. He went into court with the vest on. It's like, oh, Aaron Hernandez flashbacks, man. I'm like, what are these guys doing?
So then I feel like we got to start, like, we got to just nip it in the bud before it happens then. I think we got to put more resources into helping these guys, obviously not knowing how to handle disagreements or arguments, or when some little thing happens that doesn't go your way, how do you handle that? I feel like that's the root of all these things. Like, oh my gosh, this guy made me so mad. Now I got to kill him. Like, no, do not kill him.
Isn't there one logical friend? Like, even if you hang around 10 crazy friends, isn't there generally one guy that's not crazy that goes, I don't know, guys, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Maybe we shouldn't kill the guy. Maybe we shouldn't beat him up.
Right. I mean, maybe we shouldn't have Terry and Arnold involved in this because, if he is your guy and he hasn't, It's just smacks of, hey, you didn't leave your childhood friends behind or something. Like, I get it, but let's not get him involved. He's the goose that laid the golden egg. Maybe let's not have him involved. Like, I don't know, man. It's obviously beyond logic. I don't know if you guys saw this, and this is a totally different relation, but I think it does relate, which is Mark Cuban the other day was on a podcast, and he basically said there were guys, they had no idea about money. They had never had a checkbook. They kept their money in their pocket. They were making $800,000 and bought mom a $5 million house. And Mark Cuban, obviously then as owner of the Mavericks, had to go to these players and be like, guys, this is not, you can't spend money like this. You make $800,000. Mom doesn't get a $5 million house. Like, he was telling stories of how irresponsible, not even irresponsible. Irresponsible is when you know but you don't do right. These guys just didn't know. They didn't even have a checking account. And so, but Terry Arnold's he went to Alabama. He's been in the league a couple of years. Like, he knows how this works, you would think. I don't know. This is inexplicable to me. No idea.
You would think you would understand how to act. Some people just don't know how to act right, and now it's going to come back and haunt them. Do not rob people, guys. If you're listening to the show, do not rob people.
Again, you learn something new from the show every day. Do not rob people. That's pretty good. Yes, thank you. Public service announcement from the Drake Toll Show. 8 o'clock hour is on the way. By the way, this is one thing I'm going to ask Joe about, because I know he's versed in a lot of different things. Joe Malfa is going to join us at Malfa J98. He does play-by-play for all sorts of soccer, so he's obviously a super genius when it comes to the World Cup. So we will talk about the USA's chances. Some things came out, some odds came out, and we'll ask him about the game itself. But also there's a couple of things that are going around the World Cup, and I just want to ask him this simple question, because I think maybe a lot of people will disagree with this. I think I want the USA to win, but even if they were to disappoint and, say, lose to Bosnia or whatever they call Bosnia now, I know I just sounded like the stupid American, but I still think it would be a success, because what we've seen on American soil, how much fun this whole thing has been, all the different people flying over and the foreigners and loving our food, except for Norway, by the way, but I've got a story on that a little bit later. But anyway, I think it's been a success to this point. We'll ask Joe about it as well, and then we'll even get into some soccer talk for you that are into those kind of things as we hit the knockout round. We'll do that to kick off the third hour of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. The Drake Toll Show, John Lund in for Drake. We'll get a super genius on soccer next, only here on Westwood One Sports, and the very downloadable, and if you would do it for a personal favor to me, the Westwood One Sports app. Hour 3 next.
Listen as the wind blows from across the great divide. Voices trapped in yearning, memories trapped in time. The night is my companion, and solitude my guide. Would I spend forever here and not be satisfied? And I would be the one to hold you down, kiss you so hard, I'll take your breath away. And after I from across the great divide. Voices trapped in yearning.
Yes, thanks for joining us. It is time to get a person who is a super genius on soccer. Heck with this uninformed American talk. Let's do it. It's the Drake Toll Show. John Lynn in for Drake. Drake will be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will be back on Friday as we get you ready. We'll start July 4th. Unbelievable. The World Cup has been a rousing success as we hit the knockout round. And Joe Malfa is awesome. At MalfaJ98. Make sure you follow him. You'll be smarter when it comes to soccer. He calls about every league you could possibly call. ESPN, MLS, United Soccer League, National Women's Soccer League. He knows what he's talking about, and he joins us here on the Drake Toll Show on Western One Sports. Hi, Joe. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I appreciate you welcoming me with the French national anthem. Me and my friends have been keeping a running list of our rankings of the national anthems of all 48, the whole tournament. So that was fun.
Oh, I love it. Where is the French national anthem on that list? Pretty high, right?
So we have a very unofficial formula of how into it the crowd is, plus how into it the players are, plus how good the tune is.
Ooh.
So France is right now number 2, behind Scotland and just ahead of the United States. So we're gonna keep it like fluid throughout the tournament. Scotland's already out, so they might drop because of that. But like their fans are so into it, they might just stay number 1.
Okay, I got it. Since you brought it up, the entire World Cup based on if we just did fandom only, Scotland's got to be number 1, right? I mean, the way they took over Boston. I mean, I think one of the first things I read about the World Cup was Boston ran out of beer, and it's like, what? Like Boston doesn't run out of beer. If there's one city that I don't think it ever would run out of beer, but the Scots like drank them out of beer. I've never heard of that. That's amazing.
They were fantastic, and they actually. I'm based down in South Florida for a lot of the work that I do, and my wife and I, as soon as we heard that they were taking over a Marlins game after that Red Sox game, we bought tickets. So we were there last Monday night, and we were in and amongst them. It was fantastic. It was one of the best things about this World Cup that I think people have realized, hardcore fans, casual fans, just getting to be with some of the traveling fan groups, even if you don't know what soccer is or you're not going to a game, just being in and amongst them is a fantastic time.
Yeah, and I just read a piece about exactly what you just talked about. There was a national piece out today talking about how all these soccer fans are like, let's go to baseball games, and they're taking over baseball games, and it's a lot of fun. And again, I'm not ripping at all on American fans. It's just I think we know how to celebrate sports, and maybe the closest we get to in this country is the NFL. But they're honestly from coast to coast, whether it's Seattle, L.A., like you said, Boston, Miami, all across, they're just putting us to shame. I mean, they're no joke. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, isn't it?
That's just SEC environment for football, but times 10 and all over the world. Like that's basically the way I've been able to describe it to people. And you could apply that to Scotland, to Brazil, to the Norwegians who have taken over. Like if you go there and you go to a soccer match, my wife and I were in Germany back in December. We went to a small town, Augsburg, outside of Munich, and there were 35,000 people there, and most of them were pretty inebriated. It is SEC environment just everywhere that you could possibly imagine.
It is well described. Joe Malfa's joining us. We're talking World Cup, or at least we'll get to the actual soccer in just moments. But just as a whole, that's kind of where we started, but just as a whole, and look, I hope the U.S. continues to go. There's been a lot of momentum. We'll get into, they did lose in L.A., but there's reasons behind that. But just to this point, and I don't know, I'd even probably put in even if the U.S. loses, which I don't expect that they would do coming up next, but there is some tough games coming up or tough matches coming up. But would you already call it a success just because of how well we've been received in all these different venues across the country of soccer, just how successful it has been to this point, both from a social media and actual TV ratings, like across the board, this has been very successful.
Yes, but there's a catch. I think we know that especially the casual fans are the ones that are being brought under the umbrella now because of the early success. Americans like winners, and we saw that with the Olympics earlier this year, and we see that time and time again, whatever the sport may be, like whenever there's a great underdog story in another sport. I mean, I'm a Mets fan, and 2024, when the OMG and Grimace hysteria was happening, there were a lot of casuals who were on board with the Mets. But then as soon as the Mets lost and they were out, everybody drops the Mets. Like, people get behind the team so long as it's going well. But The way you really capture them is by winning it all. I go back to the Blues in 2019 when they won the Stanley Cup and the Gloria and everything that was going on with them, right? When you have something that people get behind, you cement it by winning. And for as good as this tournament has been, if the U.S. were to turn around and get eliminated by Bosnia on Wednesday night, in what is, this blew my mind, this fact, it is the first ever men's knockout game for the United States that is in prime time in the United States. Every other knockout game they've ever played has been in a foreign World Cup that has been in a different time slot. This is the first ever prime time game. So you have a chance in a prime time audience to win a knockout game and go on further, capitalizing on the group stage success. So for all the success that's been, if they fail on Wednesday, it kind of takes a step back a little bit.
That's a great point. Joe Malfa's joining us talking some World Cup. So as you said, and I'm going to say these if things hold. They often do not hold, but like you said, Bosnia in Santa Clara. If they were to win that, probably Belgium, which is a top 10 team in Seattle, and then it gets really crazy. Could go Spain in LA, France in Dallas, and Argentina, New Jersey. That's if they got through. But my reason for rattling that off is because we often talk about this, the casual fans, what is acceptable for the U.S. at this point? And everyone will go, okay, that was very successful. As you said, you talked about winners, and that was a great point. So what would be successful and what would be a disappointment for America at this point?
So at this point, losing to Bosnia is an abject failure because you almost compound it by the little taste of success and excitement you gave in the group stage. So losing to Bosnia, abject failure, unacceptable. The round of 16, if you go in there and you lose a tough 2-1 game against Belgium, it's not a failure per se, but it's very disappointing because of the history and the story behind that. And it's the team that you lost to in 2014. And if you go back, right, we missed the World Cup in 2018. So that was sort of a whole lost generation where this every 4-year hysteria kind of just didn't really catch on. And then 2022, it started to pop back up in Qatar. But again, foreign World Cup, different time slots in the winter time. It didn't take hold the way it is. So we haven't been in a summer World Cup where this hysteria takes on since 2014 when we lost to Belgium. So it could be a full circle moment in the round of 16 getting Belgium. And if you lose that, it's a little bit disappointing because maybe some of those casual fans who because we missed 2018 and because 2022 was in the winter and different time slots, maybe they haven't watched this 2014 and they're going to leave with a taste in their mouth of, oh, we lost to Belgium in 2014. We lost to Belgium in 2026, so I guess nothing really has changed in 12 years. So it's disappointing for maybe not bringing on some of the casuals and taking advantage of that. But from a pure fan's perspective, if you are a fan of the U.S. and you follow them throughout and not just every 4 years, yeah, you understand if you lose to Belgium. But I personally think that if they go through the U.S., assuming against Bosnia, and Belgium comes through, I think the U.S. are going to be betting favorites in that game, which is something that we've never seen before against a top 10 European team. So there's that. You win that game, you make a quarterfinal for the first time since 2002, and now you've got everybody captured because that game against Belgium is going to be Monday night in prime time. So you've got another prime time audience on Monday night. It's a huge chance to capitalize beating them. And now you're at a point where whatever happens after that, short of getting embarrassed by a Spain in the quarterfinal, you're happy with whatever happens after that if you get through that round of 16.
Talking World Cup, super genius Joe Malfa, you can hear, absolutely knows what he's talking about, does a ton of soccer play-by-play, absolutely great. Out at Malfa J98. Make sure that you're following him on social media. It's the Drake Toll Show with John Lund filling in for Drake on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. So to me, as I look at this, I agree with 100% of what you just said. Plus, the question I think everybody's got to be asking themselves, this sets up perfectly for the U.S. It's a talented team. They're coached well. For casual fans, if you're not going to get to, I would even say to the quarterfinal, and like you said, okay, you play Spain and L.A., yeah, I get it. They're really, really good. So I could see that. But I would hope that they would get to that point because I would ask myself, if not now, when? You just mentioned those other places that the World Cup was played. You're on home soil. You've got everything seems to line up. I'm not saying that they're going to win the thing, but to get further than they've already gotten. So I would hope that they would beat Bosnia. I would think they would beat Belgium, like you said. I mean, soccer's strange. It doesn't mean they're going to, like in other sports. But I at this point, with all this momentum, I'm expected to see them in L.A. against Spain. That's what I expect. And
that's what is such a good thing about what's going on right now, right? you would say, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, you sort of said it coming on the air, and what you said, you and the others at the show have said all week, you're the casual. You are trying to get more into it. And the fact that you are even saying that you expect to get there is awesome, because that's something that never existed for fans of this sport in this country, where it would always just sort of be like, hey, let's just watch the games and have fun and whatever, right? Like, even when we hosted in 1994, I wasn't alive yet, but nobody was expecting anything based on the history books, and that is sort of what happened. We snuck our way to the group stage and lost to Brazil in the round of 16, and that was that. We had fun. We started the MLS after that, and that was it. So the fact that you're even saying you expect to, and for all the reasons you laid out, home soil, this generation of players, it shows how important of a moment this is to capitalize on. And if they don't, by whether that's losing to Bosnia or whether that's getting embarrassed instead of a close game against Belgium in the round of 16, whatever the case is, if they don't capitalize now, to your point, when? I will say, and again, this is the line between casual observer and people who are in it and know it, and trying to bring more people onto the tent. The reason for the question, if not now, when, it's not quite that simple. The next generation of players, now granted, players have to develop. The pipeline is bigger than it's ever been. There are players that you haven't really heard about yet, but you're going to hear about. And it did make some mainstream news headlines. A player by the name of Kevin Sullivan, he's a 16-year-old with Philadelphia Union right now. He was already purchased by Manchester City. Pep Guardiola, the manager, had his eyes on him and initiated the purchase when he was 15 years old. Because of European laws, he can't go over there until he's 18. But that purchase is already made. He is the most talented player, even more so than a Christian Pulisic that the U.S. has ever produced in the pipeline hype-wise. And there's like 2 or 3 others that are just like him. Audrey Mametti plays for the New York Red Bulls, and he's being courted by Real Madrid. So the if not now, when question is an interesting one, because there's so much talent coming. But to the overall point, if they can capitalize now and make a quarterfinal now and get more eyeballs on it now, then a lot more casuals will be in the tent and know who these kids are coming up. And that just amps up the excitement even more for 2030 in the next World Cup. And before then, there's a Gold Cup next year. There's a Copa America that we're going to be hosting in 2028. There's a Gold Cup again in 2029, and then the World Cup in 2030. So that's what the opportunity this team has right now, is to get everybody on board with all this additional excitement and players coming down the line.
Great insight. Joe Malfa's joining us. We're talking World Cup, the U.S. Against Bosnia in Santa Clara. That's what's up next in the knockout round for the United States. Let's go back to L.A., and a lot of people are upset that they lost because they think momentum was lost, and maybe it was. I mean, you don't want to lose games, but I don't think people are understanding, and if they want to relate it to other sports, you had everything clinched. You didn't have anything to play for. You had some yellow card issues. You sat some guys there. You want to keep guys healthy. That's part of this whole thing. I looked at it, I'm not going to say it was a positive, but to see Christian Pulisic, like you said, come back. I mean, he could have had a hat trick. He didn't score any of those. Maybe he was a little bit rusty, whatever the case may be, but he's healthy. I understood why they did it. Is that an issue to you that they didn't win the game? I thought it was more important that they rested players and watched the yellow cards and got Pulisic in there a little bit. I was fine with it, but a lot of people were upset that they didn't continue the momentum. Is that a thing to you?
No, this is the Bills having clinched the division and playing Matt Barkley instead of Josh Allen in Week 18. This is Alabama in Nick Saban's heyday scheduling the Citadel before they play Auburn Thanksgiving week. That's what this turned out to be, and they earned it by winning the first 2 games against Paraguay and Australia. The stat came out yesterday. The player tracking devices that they all wear, the data was released for the group stage of the tournament. No team ran more than the United States in Pochettino's high press, high energy style. So the rest in that Turkey game really helped the starters, and it's only going to mean that much more going forward. You even look at Norway. Norway had something to play for in their final game. Had they beaten France, which is a very tall order, but had they beaten France, they would have won the group, and they would have had an easier path through in the knockout stage. They rested everybody. They didn't play Erling Haaland. They didn't play Odegaard. They didn't play their best guys because they knew the importance of rest. So the U.S. was able to do that from a position of power, having won the group. And all it turned out to be, honestly, this is not hindsight and just trying to justify it after the fact. They showed that their B team can go toe-to-toe with an A team. And Turkey, by no mistake, they're a very good team. They should not have been in the position they were. They dominated the games against Australia and Paraguay. They happened to lose both. So our B team went toe-to-toe with an A team. Check mark. That's a boost for confidence. Pulisic came back in, looked like himself. That is a boost to confidence. And honestly, losing that game in heartbreaking fashion at the end, that should absolutely light more of a fire under these guys. I was almost afraid had they won, had they gone through, that there would have been this sense of invincibility to the group. And now that Argentina won their last group game, the stats started going around. No team since 2002 that has won all their group games has gone on to win the whole thing. That could be circumstance and coincidence, but it does help to not have this sense of invincibility. So by that respect as well, to have that gut punch at the end, it's a chance for Pochettino to remind the guys, hey guys, this is what losing feels like. So every box was checked. The momentum thing isn't really a factor, I don't think, because with the group we have, we go out there and beat Bosnia like we should. A very tough team, but still a team we should beat. We go out there and beat them on Wednesday night, and all that momentum that was quote-unquote lost is right back there again.
That's great insight, man. I'm glad you said that, because when I say it, it's like, it's just some dumb American. But then you say it, and there's credibility, and you're 100% right. Joe, that was awesome, man. Thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Thanks for the insight. Have a lot of fun with this. I love I love the anthem. What were the parameters around this again? I forgot, because I want to do this.
Yeah,
I'm going to steal this from you.
It's very scientific. It's how the fans are into it. It's how the players are singing it and the vibes, and it's just a tune overall itself. There's some good tunes that we put down the list because the fans weren't into it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Joe, thanks, man. That was a lot of fun. We appreciate it.
Yep, take care.
You got it, man. Joe Malfa. Make sure you're following him, by the way, and you will know more about the beautiful game at MalfaJ98. All right, I'm sorry that I have to go from this high of highs to maybe the low of lows, but Addie put this in the notes. I wish to discuss. Addie is a big baseball fan, as am I. And even though we're at the midway point of the season, something is overshadowing everything. I'll explain. It's the Drake Joel Show. John Lund sitting in for Drake on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app.
guess which national anthem is this one.
Joe was awesome. Thanks, by the way. First of all, thanks for joining us. The Drake Toll Show. John London from Drake's Westwood One Sports. They very downloadable, and you should, so you can get all the shows. Westwood One Sports app. So, what did we play for Joe, and what are we playing now? And was Joe confused, and should I have called him out?
We played the Mexican national anthem, and this is the French, right?
Correct.
Which I'm now realizing. I did not realize, and I'm a huge Beatles fan. I did not realize that the Beatles, "All You Need Is Love," is just the French national anthem. Sorry, I just realized that in the first line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because he said, and he had a great thing. So it's like the national anthem plus the fandom plus how successful the team is, and he's got, because he's a soccer guy, and he said that's how we have our kind of country rankings. But you played the Mexican national anthem, which I know, and then he said it was the French national anthem, and then he talked about, and again, I'm not going to call it. I'm like, well, actually, sir, yeah.
Well, I mean,
should I have said something to him? Do they sound that similar?
No. No.
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Come on. Anyway, I'm not calling anybody out. I make mistakes all the time. He was an awesome guest. He was incredible. Although I will say that beyond the national anthems, and I love how him and his friends rank the fan bases based on fandom, anthem, and success, which I think is great, and I'm going to steal. In all sorts of ways. It can't just be it won't just be soccer, like NFL, like the whole thing. I think it's a great thing. It's a great bit. But man, he called me out as a random within like 30 seconds. And I tried to sound all, I'm going to be prepared for this interview. I'm not going to be a random. Nobody wants to be called that. And he's like, well, like you, Lund, you're a casual. I'm like, bro, come on, man. I thought this interview was going well. I thought we were friends. We were five. I don't even think I said a word. I was 7 seconds into the interview. He's like, you're a casual. What do you mean I'm a casual? I don't think he realizes.
Maybe he looked you up.
He must have known. Yeah, you know what? You're right. He probably did. Because I played for a team growing up for about 3 years, and it was called the Seattle Sting. And I lived in Seattle for like a minute, and it was too rainy. My parents were like, we're out of here. But I played on a travel team as the starting goaltender. We traveled Canada. Like, I knew my stuff. I was good.
How tall are
you? Like 5'11". So, I mean, not.
I thought you had to be like really tall
enough
to be a goaltender. Like
you do.
Goalkeeper.
You do.
Okay.
You have to be like, our team. I didn't say our team was good. I just said I was on a team. But yeah, you should be like, and it was only like, at the time like 12, 13. But still, I could play a little bit. Thank you for, I stopped growing, and I have a thing about it. But anyway, just thank you for bringing it up. So I thought it was going to be the next, whatever. And I stopped growing, and then guys got to be 6'3", 6'4". They're like, get out of the way, you shrimp. And I was out, wasn't a goaltender anymore. And then I was too slow and Caucasian to be like, anywhere fast on the field. So anyway, my soccer career ended. But my point is that he called me a casual. I should have told him. By the way, Joe, my friend, I was on a travel team for 3 years as a starting goaltender. Now, we sucked, but that's not the point. Casual. What was your soccer career like? Just kidding.
Yeah, Joe. Take that, Joe.
Yeah, take that, Joe. I played.
Joe
What about
Mama.
You? He's never coming on the show again. He's listening. He's like, the hell, bro? You ripped me for not knowing the end. But anyway, 14 minutes from now, Len's last call. Don't miss it before we go on to You Better, You Bet, and Nick Costos. Charlie Sheen, you won't believe this story, but it's another one. He's just on the circuit for his book. A guy is suing because this is how he lost all his wedding money. Norway, we're anti-Norway. I'll tell you why. Would you pay $3 million for OG's ball and the vigilante Batman? Those 5 things coming up as Len's last call in about 13 minutes. But I hate to go from such a high of the soccer talk to this, but Addie, I'm going to fault you because you put this in our notes today, and I feel compelled to talk about it. Now, first of all, when it comes to baseball, and I'd love to have a baseball segment with you because you're such a big baseball fan, but we're at the midway point of the season, and I don't see a whole lot changing as far as things go. I mean, Dodgers, Braves, Brewers are going to win their divisions. Yankees, hopefully, will get Aaron Judge back at some point, even though they just got swept by the Red Sox. The AL West is weird. What is there, 3 or 4 teams in the American League with 500-plus records, and the White Sox are one of them? Woo, that blows. That's crazy. Just crazy. But Yeah, I mean, just nuts. So, I don't know. Rays probably win the American League. Dodgers win the National League. Good night, everybody. Or maybe the Brewers. Or maybe the Braves. The National League is going to be fun. I don't know about the American League. But the overall, what is unfortunately overriding this whole season is it seems like the Major League Baseball Players Association is just throwing stuff out there. Like they're just smoking something and then drinking something, and then they say, okay, let's get around the big mahogany table and throw something at the Major League Baseball Players Association that's just going to piss them off. And so far, that's what they've done. Now, I understand the logic, which is anybody who's negotiated, doesn't have to do with sports, business, whatever. Anybody who's negotiated anything in their life, you have to put in fat. Because if you negotiate and you're really skinny in the thing, then you're going to lose things that you don't want to lose. So what you do is you inflate things and throw things against the wall that you know the other side is not going to take. But you say, all right, I'll give you that one, but I got to have this, right? So that's what MLB is doing. They're throwing out all these crazy different things, caps on deal length, financial limits. It obviously started with the salary cap, which they know that the MLBPA would throw up on. So all these different things that they're throwing out, which they know the Major League Baseball Players Association has no intention of accepting. And really the Major League Baseball side, the man, they don't even want these things, but they're throwing fat into the equation so that you cut the fat, and you don't cut into the things that they really want. So that's the logic behind it. Most people listening are smart. They go, yeah, tell us something we don't know. They get it. But in the process of doing this, what's happening is they're driving this wedge, as there always is between the two sides, further and further and further apart. Now, I'm not the one who made the rules. This is just how negotiation works. But at the beginning, it didn't seem like they were overly far apart. Now it just seems like the gap is growing like the Grand Canyon every time the two sides meet, talk, whatever the case may be. And then there's, Rob Manfred says, oh, we think this is fair. And then the other side says, are you kidding me? We want to vomit on this. And so my point in bringing these up, unfortunately, is like any other negotiation that seems to happen, that we're destined to have a lockout, a strike, whatever they're going to end up calling it. I guess it's going to be a lockout. But it's disheartening to me because they have all this time to really get it done. And it just seems to me that the more they talk, the worse things get. And that everybody's talking as if, well, geez, we're just going to have a lockout. It doesn't start. Now, spring training starts, mid-February. So, I mean, we're still 7 months away from this thing. And I guess it's just going to be what it always is in big-time negotiation, which is deadline spur action. And I guess the deadline's going to be, and I know that the owners know, or the MLB side knows, like this is our drop-dead date. And they also know the other thing, which is the MLBPA, for as much as they say they're going to have a war chest and players are going to have enough money and everything, this all goes the same way. The MLBPA, the players start saying, hey, man, I don't have enough money. I have 18 cars. I have this mortgage. I have that. Whereas the owners have, this is just, and I hate, people hate to hear this, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of reality and bad news. Owners have other businesses. They're not starving. They don't have to sell a mansion. They don't have to sell a house. They don't have to sell a car. They've got 50 other businesses, and baseball happens to be one of them. And they'd like to win, but a lot of them run it in a way that's like a business. So they're not going to freak out if there's a strike. They have other things going on in their life, and it's not the most important thing in their life, unfortunately. Whereas players, this is where they get their income. And like most people, they spend what they make. Mark Cuban said this the other day. A lot of the players that come into the league have no idea in the NBA, and it's the same thing with baseball. A lot of them come from poor backgrounds. They have no idea how to work money. And all of a sudden it's like, I'm not getting a check. We have a problem. So we know how this is going to work out. The players are going to do the best deal they can, but at some point they're going to have to bow down because they don't have the money, the war chest, the things that the owners have. But isn't it disheartening that here we are in the middle of this season, and we're already talking about what we're not going to have in 2027? I hate this. And they could get it done, but they just don't.
These are the most public negotiations I think we've seen in baseball. These are so public. Everything is out there right now, and that's why we're just talking about it all the time, because I don't think it was this public back in 1994 or even years ago when there were other negotiations. That's why this is so crazy to me. And the recent negotiations that MLB wants, the free agent contracts, the no deferred contracts, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Qualifying offer no longer exists. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to appeal to the players like the Travis Bazanas, the Cam Smiths, these young players who don't have these long-term lucrative deals yet. Like, hey, if you stay with this team for X amount of time, this is how much money you're going to get. Like, you're going to get $1 million. Here you go. There's your minimum base is $1 million. Like, okay, yeah, I don't have that right now. That seems like a good deal. I don't have a lucrative deal. I don't have the Juan Soto. I don't have the Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Tucker deal because you're not a veteran player yet. They know they're not going to win over the veteran players. So what do? You go after the younger guys, where if you get sent to the minors, it's brutal. We know how minor league ball is. We know how little you get paid, how bad the travel is, how bad the living situations are. We know this. We know that there are players coming from other countries, and they literally stay with host families. They're not staying in these mansions like Jose Altuve and Vlad Guerrero Jr. That's not what's happening here. So that's what they're trying to do. And so, yes, we will see a lockout next year. I can almost guarantee that. But talking about it right now, it does suck because baseball they're doing well in terms of viewership. The World Baseball Classic helped with that a ton. And so what are you going to do? Let's just stop all the momentum. Let's focus on next year and how there won't be baseball. And it's already a disaster. And yes, you were right on the nose with they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. Just one of those things. Because I think these were the worst proposals that we've seen yet. This was by far some of the worst proposals.
You bring up a great point, too, because I had forgotten about this. Because of the way social media works, because everything is so public, the posturing, and I don't know why they think they have to do this. And this is maybe the strangest thing, and I know we're a prisoner of the moment, but this is one of the strangest things ever. We as fans, I believe this to be true, we side with the man and we don't realize we're doing it because we know how much the players make. And so we sit here struggling paycheck to paycheck and putting groceries on the table and all these kind of things in the way that our economy is right now. And we go, how can these players be so greedy? And for some reason, we don't side with the player. We side with the man. These owners are making tons and tons and tons, and I don't want to hear it. This is costing me. Then sell the team and make your billions and walk off into the sunset and do your 50 other businesses. For some reason, when it comes to lockouts, we always are like, the players are making too much, they're being too greedy, and we side with what we never side with, which is the man. It's really weird. But I don't think there has to be posturing, but yet this is why it's being done, what you said. They've never really had this opportunity to through the public. In other words, they don't have to release this or anything. They just put it out on their own website, and they put it out through their own social media, and this is our latest proposal. And they're doing it to try to posture. Look, we're trying to reach out an olive branch. No, you're not. As you said, you're just trying to put fat in here. When you negotiate, again, I'm not a negotiator, but when you bring these things in just to piss off the other side, which is what they're doing, I understand you're building fat in, but you're just pissing off the other side. You know what the reaction is going to be. That's not good for negotiation. Why would anybody want a lockout? But the problem with this one and why it's going to take longer than others, they don't have to release anything else. When the first proposal was, and they used the term, I thought they could have been a little bit more, I don't know, we would have seen through it, but they could have at least tried. They just went salary cap. Like, at least try another word. Try to dance around it a little. They didn't even try. There's like, we're putting in a salary cap. And it was like, end of discussion. And then it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And that's why, we're 7-8 months away from this. They have plenty of time to make this work. But the fact that they're not even trying to, dance a little bit, have dinner before, nothing. There's no appetizer. Just like, boom, we're just going to hit you right between the eyes with this. This is ugly, and it's really disheartening for the fans.
It's so sad. And the biggest example that I look at, by the way, is Artie Moreno. Nobody talks about the Angels owner. It's atrocious. The way he's running that organization is atrocious. You had Shohei Ohtani, you had Mike Trout. Like, he went to the Dodgers just to chase money. No, I think he went to the Dodgers. That is a part of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not just going to say he doesn't want money, but also because some of these organizations aren't building teams to win. They're being cheap. They have the money. But what they're going to do is blame it on the players. Oh, they want these deferred contracts. Oh, they want all these. No, you have the money.
And then we're going to side with the player. That's what's amazing. Why do we side with the man? Like, it's really funny because it's like, oh, my God, they're making so much. But the owners don't have to display publicly what they make or what they're making on their team or what they're worth. Believe me, if guys are making millions, the owners are making billions, and they have all these other businesses. That's why they always win these negotiations, because they have more. And yet what we do as fans is get back on the field, play ball. It's like, dude, like, do you know what that guy's worth versus me? But some reason, and we all go, oh, the man, well, I don't like the man. Well, you side with them in every negotiation we do as fans, and we don't even realize we're doing it. Anyway, I'm not going to end baseball today on a negative sense because Joe came on and had brought up the fact, this is such a cool story. You can look this up online right now. A lot of great stories. Fans from around the world are attending baseball games across the league, transforming ballparks into soccer-like atmospheres. And he was talking about how he was down in Miami, which is just, I mean, Miami's death for baseball. But I mean, if people have been seeing this kind of stuff, and I've gone to a couple of local games as well, and it's not only, tarps off and kind of stuff, but people are just, they're bringing their flags in. It's total soccer game, but
Viking
baseball.
row
This is cool,
at the
man.
games?
Yeah. The
I
Viking
love
row is
it.
awesome.
Love
This
it.
has been cool. So anyway, we're not
love
leaving on a negative note for baseball. That's been really cool as far as this summer is concerned. All right, we'll end everything with Lund's last call. Amazing stories today. I'm not overselling this. Charlie Sheen, actually, the Mexican cartel got angry with him. We'll explain why. A guy is suing because he lost all his wedding money doing this. Do you have any compassion? I am anti-Norway. I'll explain why. $3 million for the tipped-in ball, and maybe the best story of the day, the vigilante Batman. We'll give you that before the top of the hour, and then, of course, Nick Costos jumps in with You Better You Bet at the top of the hour. John London in for Drake. Addie is here. Laura is here. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Yes. Thanks for joining us. Top of the hour, by the way. Don't go anywhere. You are in for a treat. Chris Mack is great. You bet at the top of the hour. Not that Nick Costos isn't. I'm just saying Chris Mack is great. He's in Pittsburgh and always puts on an entertaining show. So you bet at the top of the hour with Chris Mack. Make sure that you stay tuned for that. Black and Abdallah, Jim Rome Show, all of that. And by the way, you'll get all those shows. You can watch or listen. Just go to the Westwood One Sports app. Download that post haste. Very nice. We are also on the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel as well, so you can check that out and hang out with us today. Before we get into Lund's Last Call, the 5 things you need to know so you can be a productive member of society on this Monday. Give it up for Addie today. Laura and Addie, but Addie's been playing hurt today. Very well done. I didn't know if you could do your Trump today. Wasn't sure. Your first text of the day is, I'm dying. So I wasn't sure what was happening. What do you have there? Is some brand of you did find something in your new place.
500 count.
Oh, very nice.
Of Tylenol.
Very nice. And you're going to see doctor bottom of yeah. Well, that's what you got to do.
I am.
You got to play hurt.
I am going to the CVS Minute Clinic just to see if I'm okay. Just checking in on myself.
Very nice.
Get drunk before the game. We're going to get drunk during the game, and then we're going to get drunk after the game.
I think that's why I'm sick.
Yes, that might be something to do with it. All right, let's do it. It is the 5 things you need to know to be a productive member of society. Lund's Last Call.
It's time for Lund's Last Call.
All right, I'm going to do a bonus 6 just because I try to fit in a legit Arch Manning story when you were here, Addie. Arch Manning was at the Uncle Peyton's passing camp, which is a big deal, and he was asked who his funniest family member is as he sat in very short shorts. I don't approve of these shorts and a T-shirt, so you probably like this. But it's not Peyton, who's pretty funny, I thought. It's not Eli, who I think is pretty funny. Apparently Archie, the grandfather, is pretty funny as well, but he said that his brother is the funniest member of the Manning family. Now, remember, his dad is Cooper, who a lot of people think is really funny, and he's the other Manning. He played wide receiver, unfortunately. But I guess he said that it is his brother who is the funniest of the Mannings. I think the Mannings are pretty funny in general. I don't know how funny Arch is, but I think the Mannings in general are pretty funny. Anyway,
in a couple of years, that answer is going to be his wife. In a couple of years, that answer is going to be his wife. I'm a very funny person. People are saying I'm the most funny.
People are saying that I am the most funny.
Many people are saying,
I am the funniest.
Wow, Addie, she's
Many people are
funny,
saying
very funny, the most funny. So yeah, that's okay, Arch. That's no answer for right
now. So that's
going to
change.
Just know in a couple of years. Just a couple of years.
That's going to absolutely change. 100%.
Look at that.
All right, let's get you the 5 before we get out of here today. This is insane. I don't know if you saw this story. So Charlie Sheen continues on his book tour, and this is maybe the most interesting thing he said the entire time. He said that a Mexican cartel cut him off from drugs in his heyday because he bought too many drugs, and they thought he was a dealer. They thought he was buying all these drugs to flip them, and they thought he was competition. When the Mexican cartel says you've had too many drugs, we think that you are selling the drugs. We cut you off because we don't want the competition. You're doing too many drugs. Now, in a little bit of fairness to Charlie Sheen, he was doing them because he was having all these big parties. So it wasn't like he was snorting, 3/4 of Peru, but he was partaking in quite a bit of it. But he was having massive parties. But still, when the Mexican cartel, whose job it is to sell drugs in part, there's other things, I'm an expert, but large part of it is drug sales, and they say, sorry, no more drugs for you, you're probably doing too many drugs.
What? That's BS. God forbid
Sorry,
I
Charlie.
low motion. God forbid we have fun every once in a while.
Jeez, yeah. Cocaine was the drug of choice, by the way.
Stay off the weed.
That's yeah. Watch out for your notes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my goodness. Now, look, we know through the Brendan Shoresby thing, we know because we watch TV all the time that betting is out of control. We advertise betting constantly, et cetera, et cetera. And if you get hooked, it's a major problem. But a man is suing. And my question would be, does he have a case here? A man is suing a betting site after losing all of his money he had saved for his wedding to gambling. The lawsuit claims he wagered more than, get this, $2 million before the site ignored signs of his addiction and made him a VIP, according to this report. Is it the? I do realize that the call 1-800 if you have a problem is certainly not sufficient enough. But is it up to the website when a person is spending? I mean, it's their job again, just like it's the Mexican cartel selling the drugs. It's the site's job to make money. Now, this guy bet over $2 million. By the way, what kind of wedding were you having anyway, my friend?
That's what I was going to ask.
But you can't sue the betting site, or you shouldn't be able to. What are your thoughts? Does he have a case?
I hope that woman does not marry him. He's got issues. He's got accountability issues, gambling. Probably other things. Probably a liar. Probably a thief. Who knows? He might rob someone.
He's a liar.
He might be in the little jacket. He might be in a little vest. He might be in a little vest.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a great point to ask you both. I mean, even if you could still afford the wedding, even if she adjusted, okay, we don't need those many, that many flowers. We don't maybe need that, the ice swan. You still
crazy.
That's a problem, isn't it? Like, yeah, I'm not marrying you. It's not because we can't afford a wedding other than City Hall now. You just gambled $2 million. I'm out.
So cheap. What wedding cost $2 million? Like, I'm like, what?
We got bigger problems, guys. We got bigger problems.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like,
you're gambling.
You don't need to marry
her
if that's what it's going to cost you, by the way.
No, I would agree 100%. Let me get to number 3 here. Oh, the ball from Knicks star OG Anunoby, easy for me to say, OG Anunoby's tip in for auction, the one he tipped in and the Knicks won the title. Maybe up to $3 million is what they're saying. Would you pay up to $3 million for that ball or any kind of sports memorabilia? $3 million for a ball?
Well, I know the last guy's not paying for that because he's already $2 million in the hole. No, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
I like tying these all together.
I'm sorry,
well
that is stupid. $3 million
Plus,
for
what
a
do you
damn
do with
ball?
that? Does that impress anybody? Because it's going to be some guy and he's going, look at, it's like, it's a basketball. Yes, but OG Anunoby tipped it in. Oh, great.
Somebody's going to do what I used to do. My dad has these home run balls, like whenever he was a kid, and I didn't realize they were in like a specific case for a reason because I was stupid as a child. So I just mix them all up.
Oh, no.
I'm like, sorry, Dad. That's what I would do. Just mix it in a random basketball.
Oh, no. Oh, he was probably mad at you. I bet he was mad.
I think he doesn't. I don't think he knows that I did that. So I hope he's not listening.
Show's wildly popular.
Dad, go back to
now
that.
that you did.
Go back to that.
Number 2 on the 5, you got to know, Lund's last call. Norway. Did you know this? Norway shipped tons of food over to the World Cup because they don't trust U.S. food. Doesn't this fly in the face of everything? Everybody loves our food. Everybody loves our ranch. Everybody loves our burgers. Everybody loves our barbecue. Everybody loves Texas Roadhouse, Popeye's chicken. But not Norway. They're too good for us. I thought maybe, I could see France doing this to us, but Norway? What's wrong with you Norwegians? They won't eat our food.
Yeah, please eat this.
Are we
hot dog.
anti-Norway now?
Don't ask. What's it? Eat this hot dog.
Right.
Don't ask. Eat the sausage.
With the hot dog for sure.
Have
don't
this
ask for a hot
marshmallow
dog.
fluff and cheese whiz. What's in it? Don't ask.
Yeah, that's what we do as Americans. Whatever, man. Do you know how much fat and sugar that has? We don't care. Stop it.
Don't ask.
And finally, number 1, a Mexican vigilante dubbed Batman is wanted by police for allegedly chasing down suspects on a motorbike around town and taping them to lampposts. You got to look this up. The Mexican vigilante Batman, and there's all sorts of pictures in these stories. He literally is with like duct tape, like in the movie, like duct taping guys to posts. It's happened many, many times. There's great pictures of this guy, and he's got a Batman mask on, and he rides around Mexico and he tapes bad guys to posts for the police to catch. The Mexican Batman vigilante. He's wanted for chasing down suspects on motorbikes and taping them to lampposts. Is he a hero or a weirdo? Hero
That's
or
actually
weirdo?
me. That's part of the Mexican rebrand I'm going through right now. So I just didn't want to say it. I just didn't want to say it.
Ended on that.
So I'm Batman. I'm Batman. So
I'm Batman. I'm the Mexican vigilante Batman. And on that note, that is your Lund's last call. Thank you for letting me sit in for Drake. Laura, thank you very much for enduring me again. Addie, please get to the doctor and feel better. Much appreciated everybody hanging out with us today. Drake Toll will be back on tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday. So he's got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will be back on Friday. And you're in for a treat coming up next because Chris Mack is in for You Better You Bet, and he is great. Have a great day. Chris is next. You Better You Bet, the Drake Toll Show with me, John Lund, sitting in on Westwood One Sports, and, of course, the Westwood One Sports app.